Big shout out to the VIP guys. It's London with Crypto Kingdom and Bitcoin Spike. We're going to go through the details on Bitcoin. Please shout out, give me a like underneath, and when you get here, just go ahead and light up the comments. Let's talk about the price action on Bitcoin. Big down day, all right? Yesterday was a big down day. This is London, by the way, with Crypto Kingdom and Bitcoin Spike. Guys, I'm a former financial professional, not your financial advisor, all right? If you want financial advice, go hang out with your broker, all right? This is just us going through technical analysis. I'm a former, financial analyst, okay? I was an analyst right out of Duke University where I was certified in markets and management, okay? So I've worked across the table from Harvard Business, let's say Harvard Foundation to be specific, etc. I've prepared, if I can say it, guys, return estimates, calculations, etc. So I have an eye for detail. Want to shout out, hey there, what's going on, Luigi Dizon? What's going on, brother? Hope you watched our previous video. And yeah, real simple in terms of this line of resistance, right? Everyone kind of knew it. Just the most immediate zone to our left gave us a good indication in terms of what we were looking at. Let you guys know that. So we just didn't conquer it. The good thing about this level, what I liked about the technicals here was it gave us a real strong indication at this level, the previous zone, that yeah, it was a period of hours. We slowly marched up over hours and really got the momentum. So we just didn't receive that here, right? It was just we had a little bit of a fake, to the upside, but it was a real clear non-entry in terms of like heavy potential cash, right? We always talk about that, right? Where's the heavy money? Where's the smart money at? Okay, not just the next trade, but where's the real heavy money going in at what level, right? We don't want to just we don't want to just trade for trading's sake. I understand sometimes you want to trade, you want to throw at the market a little bit, but it's different when you're going in potentially on a leverage, like a high leverage position, etc., something like that. You want that increased level of certainty. So the pour down became very evident that it was not going to pick up on any of the fibs, right? It just became very evident very quickly. If you guys trade, it was like, yeah, that was a little bit tough, right? We've picked up potentially on a zone now, and I want to talk about specifically where we've tried to pick up. Let's say tried to pick up. Let me go into the details. Up 0.54%. The market's kind of mixed right now. Rose, Oasis continuing to just power through at 11%. Phantom still doing well. Matic still on the map in that super trend kind of category right now. So looking at let's go to the 1 hour. Okay, we can see the 1 hour. We're trying to get into this positive territory here. If I dig down a little bit more closely, you can just see it's just the level that we've picked up on is an interesting level. Let me go to the 5 minute. I think that will demonstrate clearly. Let me go to the candle wicks. There we go. Now the level that's picked up here is kind of interesting. It looks like we're essentially within. Okay, we were essentially within. I may go to the 1 minute here and really dig into this. Yeah, there we go. We are trying to, and this is what I looked at earlier, we're trying to pretend like we're going to force our way back up through this specific cross trend line right now. So that's what's in flux. And in terms of let's go through the price action. In terms of what you would normally detail out for the Fibonacci's, it's just a little bit difficult within this zone right here. Let's go to the 1 hourly. I want to go through the entire pour down region, and it gets I don't know, guys. Here we go. In terms of the overall pour down, what was it, about 5%, 6%? Were you guys in it the whole time? If you were trying to hit your fibs, it became very uncomfortable. It became very obvious the fibs weren't going to pick up. Yeah, total, guys, total, look at this, about 9%. Yeah, it became obvious if you guys were into hitting your fibs. You guys know the 23.6, the 38.2, right, the 50. Then what's next? The golden pocket. Like none of these were hitting on par whatsoever. And here we go in terms of the cross trend line. Was that a lower time frame? I'm trying to find myself. I looked at it like 2 or 3 times. Like this is the lower time frame. Like yes, it's too low of a time frame. I've been on the lower time frames all day long. Please forgive me for a second, right? I have been digging into the technicals. Now, in terms of a cross trend line here, potentially a cross trend line here, and that previous zone is where we tried to pick up that first level. There we go. That first level, let's mark this as a, let's see. Let's go ahead and denote this in and around that level, the 48.7. We tried to pick up at that cross trend line, okay? Previous resistance, multiple spots here, turned into potential support. It just wasn't going to hold. And when that became, it plowed through 2 levels of the Fibonacci. It came down to the cross trend. And in terms of like accumulation for accumulation's sake, compounding down into it, it was just very clear it didn't want to stop the, essentially the, there was a train coming through, right? So we're used to that. Let's look at the daily real quickly. In terms of the candles that we've seen in this zone. Let's analyze where we're at. And I hope you guys are doing well in terms of your holidays, etc. We have a new theme, Ferraris, okay? I know enough people that have made millions of dollars this year in crypto, and some of them didn't start with a lot of money, guys. So I just say that some of them did not start with a lot of money invested. I just want to say, hey, Freddie and Hidalgo in the house. What's going on, brother? Did love. What's going on? Yeah, Technicals in the house. Nice to see you. The one love. Nice to see all you guys. I appreciate you shouting out in the comments. Hopefully you like the new look in terms of Ferrari. I honestly have to tell you, I picked a project early on called Velas, V-E-L-A-S, for the VIP, and it did scale in well. They made a deal with Formula One Ferrari. That is so cool. I liked it. I saw it, and I was like, I really like this project. I think it's going to do well. And yeah, I can show it to you real quickly. Guys, don't run and go buy it. Okay, don't run and go buy it. Okay, but I picked this out for the VIP just to let you know why I went Ferrari. Velas, it just looks really cool, right? I was like, yeah, this looks definitely cool. This is something that'll probably work. They say the fastest competitor, etc. We'll talk about the tech, but I want to show you guys this. Pretty cool. Look at this. After I brought it to VIP, bam, they're going to be on the Ferrari Formula One car. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool, right? 27th of December, what is going on, right? I always try and do that top level, guys, due diligence, etc. So I'm glad that Ferrari Formula One agrees with me. Cool, huh? VIP in the house. What's up? So we have a little Ferrari around, okay, in terms of that. Let's say Ferrari in terms of the ability for us to confirm that hey, it's not just us that thinks it's a good project. I thought it was cool, and we put Ferrari on the banner for a little while. Let's just enjoy that. And again, a lot of people that made serious cash this year didn't start with a lot of money. I want to let you guys know that. Some people did not start with a lot of money. You guys know Sheeb with some other projects. Yeah, the opportunity is there in 2022, irrespective of where you're at with the right project, it can really add up. So we're looking forward to 2022 being one of those years where we may be able to dig into a project like that. Now, in terms of either Velas or Sheeb, whatever it may be, opportunities are, the market is blowing up. You guys know that in terms of new projects, etc. So we have this triple tier level, right? And what I like about this original zone, we had the same kind of double top to conquer to get back into the green. You guys know we talk about the chop zone, right? Up and above EMAs, right? That is the chop, right? We're in the chop in this area. Same thing, flat line in this preceding zone. We didn't have to go all the way back there. Preceding zone, we saw this limitation on Bitcoin, right? We had to get up and above. Those hourly candles, pardon me, guys. Hourly candles really showed a strong ability just to cruise on up and above. If we just stick on the daily, it's very well demonstrated, but exactly what we were talking about. And really in terms of a heavy entry again, you know, it just didn't happen. So the primary thing I want us to focus on right now is the Rising Wedge, right? We have to talk about it. I'm not sure that you're focused on it to the extent that it could be pushed. Let's discuss this because we haven't really discussed this, okay? To the extent that it would want to be pushed, we haven't talked about this yet. What if it just wants to push like this? What if we have all this extra room in here? A little bit of a breather, right? Well, that makes, yeah, that's a little bit nicer, right? Because a lot can happen in here, okay? So I want to open that up a little bit today, essentially back down to the origination of the trend around 10,500, right? Let's just open that up to give us a little bit more room. And let's refocus on the macro technicals just for a minute in terms of the entirety of let's go through the macro fibs real quickly. Okay, I'm going to go to ground zero up to 69,000. Okay, there we go. And let's just look at the macro technicals. You guys will recall. There we go, 69,000. There we go. And let's go ahead into the bam. Yeah, we got a hit down into. Let's go and eliminate this wedge so you guys can see exactly what we just hammered down into previously. If you haven't been with us for a while, hit the subscribe button. Would appreciate that very much. Let's see. Ferrari, I'll get one when wave 5 hits. There you go. He knows his stuff, right? You got that right, huh? We like that, huh? Way to go. Yeah, he'll get it when wave 5 hits. I like that. Way to go. You've been yeah, you're studied up. That's what we need around here. Absolutely. You're in the right crowd, brother. Way to go. In terms of hopefully you get one on Ethereum, huh? Look at that. By the way, you look at that if you can. What is it, the weekly or the monthly on Ethereum? Yeah, you've already had your fifth wave. Yeah, look on the weekly or the monthly. I need to check back on it. Let's look at it real quickly, just for the heck of it, because I ran this by on a Twitter. You guys look at it. Look at the weekly or the monthly on Ethereum. I'll do it real quickly. Yeah, just interesting stuff. Huh? In terms of the wave formation, okay, the weekly looks okay. We may have more room to go, right? Look at the monthly on this thing. If you're into technicals, ouch. Potential ouch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. Yeah, that's the monthly right now on Ethereum. No one is talking about that, right? I'll give it potentially. Maybe we just had a rising wedge, right? Okay, on the monthly, right? Maybe we can push up out of this and count this as one generalized giant one. That's not good looking though. If you guys understand the Elliott wave, etc., that could be potentially problematic, right? It has a little bit of a zigzag effect to it. You'll kind of agree in terms of the expected, I'd say, differentials of the amplitude between waves. Still, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when I brought it to the to Twitter, I just want to shout out to Elliott Wave International. All right, they're together. They have a group, and it's when I did that tweet, I got a like from the program director at Elliott Wave International on the monthly on Ethereum. I appreciate that very much. Just some professional interaction, and I don't want I don't go overblown with being professional. You guys know that, but at the same time, it's nice to have that level of interaction. Just that level of interaction as we look at the monthly on just looking at the monthly in terms of Bitcoin. We see a little bit of a potential for a double top potentially right on the monthly. If we go back down into the, let's go to the weekly, right? Let's check the weekly out since we did that, right? Suppose, yeah, double top formation still kind of begging to me, like still kind of, still kind of wants to do something like this, and these can be beat. If you guys trade enough at lower levels, you know that, right? Yeah, sometimes they like to be beat. The daily on this, the one thing that's a little bit renewing about this, I'll just say this, we don't have this type of an angle necessarily to deal with on the macro, right? We're not dealing with something that's just vertical, right? The flatter that this top line gets, you guys know, the more you trade, right? The more flat that we are on this top line, the more likely is that we could push up and above, right? What do we need? We need a higher low here. We definitely need to create some sort of support. Buyers have got to step in. And we have a little bit of a different dynamic since you guys trade a lot and you know the technicals. Right now, the demand for Bitcoin, I like it, but we have all these ETFs. We have like institutional, like literal trade desks, Wall Street proper trading options all day long. They're not buying Bitcoin. Like maybe some of the clients are buying Bitcoin, et cetera, but a lot of these desks, we've been wondering what's been going on with the volume, right? Well, the volume, it's been ETFs. People are absolutely hammering into options, right? So that's what we see in the second half of this year in terms of just exchange traded funds, right? Your 5Ls, if you're going on leverage, instead of writing your own margin contracts, whatever you may do on options, that's one thing. But these ETFs are just you can trade them on almost any exchange right now, and you're not required to buy Bitcoin. Technically, like they would cover their position in the background, et cetera. But, technically with unregulated exchanges, that's the one kind of caveat right now in terms of the overall market performance. We're seeing a demand for Bitcoin. I had a discussion today with a gentleman from El Salvador. He thinks it's interesting. I talked to him about Bitcoin. I said, well, what do you think about it? He says, well, most people think it's like a new type of credit card. I said, a new type of credit card? He's like, yeah, well, no one understood a credit card when it came out, and people were afraid of it. But now everyone uses a credit card. This is a cool guy. And I said, okay, so it's like a credit. He says, yeah, it's like a credit card for the people. And I said, well, are people afraid of being tracked or anything else? Salvador goes, no, not anyone with money. I said, okay, cool. So I got a little bit of input from him just to let you guys know in terms of that. So, yeah, the flatter that this top line is, right, we would expect it to continue to want to push up. It's not that big of a variability, right? It's just not. It did push up, right? It did. But, it's just like instinctually when you guys deal with a lot of trading patterns, you just want to say, is that really going to cut it? Now, it can, guys, if you've traded quite a bit, it certainly can. It's just such a small differential. We just wouldn't call this a classic as we would, as I rewound over to Ethereum there for a minute. We would almost expect like a real rising wedge. You guys know this to kind of look like this, right? That's more in line with the expected angle that we would hope to see on a rising wedge, right? So the fact that we don't have that, it's a little bit important, right? I just would say it's a little bit important for us. More of a horizontal, but not quite. Now, in terms of let's go back to an important line that we haven't talked about for a bit in terms of Bitcoin. Currently at 47,893. If you're just tuning in, please smash the like button. I'd appreciate that. Nice to have you guys here. And shout out in the comments, what else are you guys trading? I know, I've got to say this, guys. The market has been trickier than I've seen the market in a long time. All right, it just has been. You guys know that? It's literally been programmed. Guys, and I'll tell you, you guys trade patterns all the time, right? Literally every time frame has a different level of resistance on it. Literally, right? And literally, you get accustomed to a specific type of pattern that's trading a certain way, and you almost now we expect it's going to change tomorrow. Like it has changed on us so many times. It's just been a really, really difficult zone, right? So we have essentially, I think, established for now this cross trend line. Cross meaning, okay, we have resistance to support. Can the support hold? But the fact that we did traject up, that does qualify this as a cross trend line. Now, in terms of that, we were looking at this bull flag formation. Absolutely, right? We were hoping to get into this type of a bull flag. And guys, we called that in around this area after finding this low, guys, at 29,750. We identified the ascending triangle, bam, right here in the back. All right, so that was really, really beautiful. In terms of this, it's just what could have been, right? And I'll just tell you, in terms of the overall regulation, right, just understand we have a lot coming at the market right now, but Austria coming in and saying, yeah, we're going to go ahead and tax your Bitcoin. That didn't help. China, bam, right? We caught this move here. Another video I didn't want to put out. I appreciate you guys paying attention to the technicals when you don't like them, right? Technically, I did not want to do this video, right? You guys knew that. It was just a lot of people were entering into trades. I did not want to do that video. This one here, just saying, per the authorities on this, all the research that you can find, this is going down, and not just I would say, well, not over here, like down, right? And I didn't want to do that video, but I did. We caught that. In terms of this line, I don't know. The problem was here we had some. I don't know. We had a lot of anticipation that we would have, at least during this. Let's go ahead and go through this. On your altcoins, etc., there was a lot of anticipation that we would have better performance in the market. We didn't reach those 30% gaining days in this zone. That disappointed a lot of traders, right? It just did. Sand did well, Rose did well, a few others did well, Matic did well. But even at that, what essentially we were doing is it really felt like this in all the coins, and it's a very difficult strategy to do. It's like, which coin is going to pick up on a Fibonacci, right? Which coin will pick up on a Fibonacci? Just imagine a random hit on a Fibonacci, and then just a random hit on some Fibonacci, right? And which coin will pick up, and then amidst its trajectory up, let's go ahead and trade it. With what? With the most awful technicals it can present to, that's exactly what happened. So, not that convoluted, but a lot of mixed signals. That is difficult for traders. So if you got caught up in that at all, essentially trying to jump on and it just happens, guys, in terms of trying to get a trend reversal like here on Bitcoin and trying to trade either Bitcoin or with multiple fake outs, guys, and let's say on the altcoins with the intention of catching the trend for the ones that are performing, it can just be miserable, right? It can be difficult and it can be dangerous, right? In terms of your overall, in terms of your overall performance. Why is that? Because you're trying to catch the one that's gaining, right? While they're flying up, and one's up 10%, well then it's down to 5. Well, one's up 12%, well then it's down to 8. Right, so that happened quite a bit, quite frequently. So the few Phantom did very, very well. A lot of business partners on Phantom. Rose, we covered here. So as you guys know, we covered Rose. Really, while it was doing well, it continued to do well. I was excited to see that. And Matic is went super trend, right? So we know that as well. I hope you guys are trading Matic. Now, in terms of the pickup here, still up 0.75%. It's nice to see a hitch on Bitcoin. I'll just say that just over and over again. It's nice to see some positive price action. The previous zone is a little bit not so promising right now. Okay, this previous zone, we covered this heavily. You guys will remember that. Well, we covered this heavily in along this zone. You guys will recall the streaming that I was going through during this specifically, and me letting people know, unfortunately, this is very bearish and we're going to be going down. Do you guys remember that? Yeah, okay. Unfortunately, it was during this time, and it took a while, right? The entirety of the time that we spent in this previous channel was what, guys? This previous, I said, consolidation range was about two months, okay? During that, I identified this as an expanding wedge and said, yes, it's going to be going down. Didn't want to say it at all, right? Just didn't want it to happen, but yes, it did go down. And essentially, what did we do? We really established a nice bottom range. Bitcoin likes to pick up. If you guys are new to Bitcoin, etc. Now, not all the time, right? but it does like to pick up in these zones, previous level, level of support, etc. Not only across an interval, but also like a previous established level, and provides some variability. Try and push out the weekends, but it likes to do this. It likes to do this, right? So when you're looking at entries, it likes to do this. It likes to, you see this, it just likes to do that. If you trade Bitcoin a lot, you're used to that, right? The previous intermittent level of support, right? As you're defining a zone, it just becomes very accustomed to doing that 2 or 3 times as it establishes its consolidation range. Okay, so right now, essentially, what does that mean for us? Why am I bringing that up? Where is the consolidation range? What are the trades we're looking for? Are we just going to wait, right? Are we just going to wait to surpass this intermediary high here, this level of resistance? We could, right? I want to bring up this previous zone in here, at least on the line chart, okay? Because on the line chart, we identified this. I'm bringing that up because what do we have here? Yeah, I know, huh? Okay, the one caveat is that we have this. Let me go ahead and turn this a different color just so we can see this. Yeah, we have this cross trend line that's been established. Okay, it may react a little bit differently because we have this resistance, and boom. Okay, we have the support thus far. May react a bit differently, but we would really need to see some kind of a market change. Something would have to really kick up in terms of the entirety of kind of the framework fundamentally, I would say, because we are in that same type of a zone. We're in that same type of an event, right? So in terms of this, it's not a bullish pattern. I'm not a bear at all. Ask my friends in terms of how I'm willing to trade and slam into things. I'm not a bear by any means, any stretch of the imagination. You guys know that. I'll hammer into some things, okay? So, but in terms of this, it's just we have to recognize this pattern, particularly because we did stream this, right? We streamed this, and I identified this, right? It occurred, right? We called the double top. You guys know that. Austria flew in. It wasn't nice in terms of the news factor. This was China. We called this. So we've been very successful here at Crypto Kingdom and Bitcoin Spike. I'm excited about that. I worked very hard to bring you guys the good technicals. And I know guys like to trade a lot. We're always trying to find like the next moving coin, etc. The only thing I'll say is just don't be overexposed, right? Just don't be overexposed. That's kind of the overall idea. The overall notion here is just don't ever be overexposed. Always have double and triple down at lower levels to cover any upside position, right? So some of the more interesting, let's just go through a little bit more of the interesting componentry that we're in here. And guys, good evening. This is London. Hope you guys are doing well. If you just got here, hit the like button. I'd appreciate that. And I can go over some pricing targets, etc. from the very beginning. Let me see what you've got here. To One Love, you've enjoyed trading AMP. It's no kidding, huh? Good. It's very stable, does not go under 0.5. Yeah, 0.448. Always gets 5% of trades, consistently averaging down. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I've noticed that last few days. I really took an eye on that. It's got some great volatility, doesn't it? Very, yeah, absolutely. Very, very interesting. Let me see, AMP. You're looking at AMP. You want to see something interesting? Hold on. You're looking at, let me make sure you said AMP. Yeah, this is the One Love. Okay, let's look at AMP. I want to show you something real quickly, okay? AMP USDT. Let's take a look at AMP USDT. And, all right, AMP is this. You correct me if I'm wrong. Look at this. All right. I believe it's ample fourth. Let's see what this is. All right, ample fourth. There you go. Look at that. That's ample fourth, okay? If you like range trades and you like consistency, I mean, this is on the daily, okay? It would take a little bit different of an approach, but if that's your trading style, if any of you are looking at a trading style with range trades, etc., you want a bottom floor support with some potential upside to it, ample fourth. Just saw this recently doing research for the VIP, restricted zone, etc. This is just exclusive. I normally kick people out of here after 1 or 2 streams if they really don't belong. So it's just for our crew. So if you don't belong, make sure you're joining and you're part of our crew. That's it. This is ample fourth. Hopefully that's funny, right? But it's the truth. Asked around. So as we look at that ample fourth, if you like AMP, right, it's been nice for you in terms of the different levels. Maybe this is a bad chart, maybe better on a different chart. But yeah, if you want to talk consistent trades, etc., with a little bit of patience, just look at that. Bam. Right? I mean, hello. Yeah, everybody gets it. Yeah, okay, good. There's your maybe a little post-Christmas present, etc. I also have a different exchange idea I want to run by VIP soon. I need to develop it a little bit more. I need some different contacts, right? It's going to be interesting. You guys are going to love, if you guys like to trade, good gosh. All right, it's the challenge of your lifetime. It's literally, it will separate the men from the boys in terms of trading. I cannot wait. I need some good minds around me to work on the exchange idea. It's not just another app, another this. No, this is like big boy stuff. You would look at it, you'd be like, do what? Like, yeah, it's going to be awesome. So I'm looking forward to developing the idea, and it solves the problem of what you do in the meantime. You buy things, you sell things. Okay, you buy things, you sell things. What are you doing in the meantime? Well, you're looking for your next trade, right? Or you're not doing anything, right? You're not in the market. So I have a very interesting idea in terms of how to address that problem. I'm looking forward to maybe working with some VIPs, or given, you know what, it's such a good idea, I don't care if someone else runs with it. To say the truth, if they'll run with it and make the exchange, I'll be happy. All right, so if anyone's interested in like development, exchange protocol, or whatever it is, yeah, just DM me, guys. You have the Twitter feed up in the top left there, that Twitter handle. So this is where we're at, okay? This is where Bitcoin currently is. Hope you guys like that Ampleforth, huh? Would take a little patience, but you look at it like, good, okay. So it's not that 20% every day you're trying to go after, right? Necessarily, it would take a little bit more patience. So, but yeah, enjoy that, and yeah, I've done a ton of review for VIP last several days, really trying to dig in and see where we can gain an advantage in something that may be a continually difficult market, because it's just been choppy right in this zone. It's like identifying like a key trade, you know, yeah. The coins that were hot then aren't now, right? It's like Gala has been replaced by Sand without any warning, right? Gala beat Sand earlier on. Gala was the 30% mover. Sand was like 18 to 20. Now Sand is the one that kicks up, and Gala's stuck. So, you know, it literally feels, I hate to say manipulated, but that's kind of a component of things right now. It's like, you know, you're really scratching your head. It's like expectations are built up, and with real positive news, I'd say, like, you know, Gala just came out with a deal with Under Armour and Seth Curry, right? I'm like, or Stephen Curry, NBA. I'm like, okay, that, you know, that's a big deal, NFTs, etc. So, irrespective of that, you know, those inconsistencies continued to let's see what we have to encounter. We encountered this. You were ordering more for to amped token. Powering flex, okay. Powering flex, okay. Let me see what you got. JPL in the house. Can you check OSMQ for osmosis, please? From osmosis, okay. Greetings from the Sahara Desert, North Africa. Thanks, and keep up the good work. Sahara Desert, really? That's pretty cool, huh? Yeah. USDT osmosis. I'll check it out because you're from the Sahara. That is cool. North Africa, huh? Very interesting. Well, the chart that I have on this is real difficult. I have to tell you, it looks real difficult. And I think that, let's see, osmosis BTC is the other option we have. Okay, this looks a little more interesting there. Yeah, it looks like we don't have complete information. Tell me which exchange you have that on, but I appreciate you hanging out for a bit. Thanks for being here, and appreciate you being in the stream a little bit. If you guys like the, if you like the group, we have a great group. I'll just say that in the back, etc. A lot of people have been around crypto for a while. Okay, so we have had some. Everything from exchange employees to investment bankers to guys, I say white collar and blue collar. The thing they have in common, this is just AXS, I want to look at this, underperforming. Thing they have in common is everyone wants to beat the market, right? And they're just solidly driven to do that in a kind of a professional manner, right? We don't have like a Discord. We don't do that. We have private rooms in the back, and we just, we like the company we keep, and that's just it. It's not the hype. It's not the, you know, it's just, it's kind of a professional grade. Me, like, excluded from that fact just as a compliment to the group. It's a very professionally oriented group, so it's not the typical, you guys know that, the typical I'd say YouTube crowd, etc. We'll keep it small. We intend to do that. I say when, I don't know, when Sheeb or Doge or something fun pops up, we met a lot of great people through some of those projects. I'll just be honest about that. Some of them have moved on, right? That was their one stickler, that was their one kind of I don't know, that was their only piece of luggage they wanted to travel with. I'm like, man, there's a lot of places to go. There's a lot of things to do. You may need some different luggage, right? But you know, everyone, that's the one commentary I'd have, even on Bitcoin. And we have to, it's very interesting that we would have the discussion, right? Even on Bitcoin. Like if someone brings something up from the Sahara Desert, and shout out to you. Welcome and happy holidays to you, definitely. But as we would look at it, try to not ever when they talk about the psychology of the market, right? Well, people love Bitcoin right now. I like the way that's just crammed up right there. I know it's a bearish pattern, but doesn't that look good? If you can see that, it just looks kind of nice right on this cross trend line. Just looks, I'm not going to say it looks bullish. If we can do one thing, it is bullish. What is that? How do we beat this pattern? Okay, previously we had this pattern, right? How do we beat this pattern? I'll tell you, if buyers step up into the market, we haven't covered this, right? If buyers step up into the market, what is our go-to pattern? You guys got that? We need an ascending triangle. Yeah, like seriously, right? Everybody knows these. They really perform well. We do have a nice double top hit, right? Nice to get into those details, right? What would battle this bearish pattern that we have in terms of this diagonal, expanding diagonal, etc.? It would be the ascending triangle. Now, the good thing is this should develop over the next few days if it's going to, right? Boy, it would take the buyers to really hammer back up here. Wouldn't that be exciting? That would be awesome, huh? Buyers just cranking this back up to this level. And we have it on the candles, guys. We have it on the candle wicks. It seems like a long way away. I just tell you, if we can get another hit at this zone, everybody's going to be super excited. I'm going to tell you, everybody's going to light up in the market being like, we have an ascending triangle in on Bitcoin, guys. Why is that? Because it's one of the strongest patterns you can trade, okay? We hate when they fail. We hate it. But when they succeed, they're just solid. They'll get a lot of momentum up out of this zone if they're well defined typically. A few in the market have failed recently, okay? Probably I'd say 2 or 3, right? In addition to a lot of other patterns, right? It's like if it got going slowly, this happened on Gala, you know? And shout out to Freddie. Freddie, I was so impressed. Gala kept going down and going down and going, and I was like, and it's still not to Freddie's level. And then it went all the way down and it bounced back up like, well, now it's at Freddie's level. And, you know, when you got in, just nice entry, really solid entries. I was really impressed by that. Not sure you booked that trade towards the top, etc. But that was just, it was a real kind of take quick, market. So and not real kind. I'll just say that. A lot of people, it just wasn't really kind. Hopping in on Fibonacci hits. If we were to look at, let's look at, boom, 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 boom. What do we look at? You would look at Luna. That's the one thing. I have this drawn out, and I brought this to VIP earlier. Literally, we have a section 1, section 2. Is it literally going to be section 3? I just have to honestly ask. I have the Fibonacci's here to the right. In terms of pricing targets, I gave that to the VIP in the restricted zone earlier tonight. But, I mean, literally it just begs the question. We have increased the slope. Are we literally just going to rock it up to, I mean, it is plausible. I would expect a pattern formation in here if we were to do such. We just did set essentially, guys, we have an indication of a temporary reversal right now, okay, in and around and before, okay, that was, let's see, 2 days ago around the top. We did get a reversal indicator, okay, so that is, that's to be noted, but in line with that, this was a reversal indicator, and look at this, boom, it's just been unstoppable. So is 3 the next stop? I just, just this increase in slope, absolutely vertical. I'd like to see it, absolutely. My price target on this shared with the community was $4.60. Right, $4.60. It's up to $103, like 20x. Very nice, huh? Very, very nice. So, in terms of Bitcoin, I was going back to discussing it up about almost 1% now, to about 47,976. I was discussing, the different culture, what we've been through as a VIP group this year, and it's been awesome. It's just been really cool. I've met some of the coolest people. Some of the coolest people have disappeared, and cool people. What I'll say is, they're hooked on one coin. They're hooked on one thing. As much as we like Bitcoin, I tell you, I don't think it's going anywhere, right? It's not going to just disappear, but, and maybe it's safe in that regard. I'll just say that in terms of being involved in it, trading it, et cetera, is going to be here, institutional involvement, et cetera, because I don't like when people get so wrapped up in a coin, irrespective of the foundational, I say the fundamentals, right? Well, you love a coin. It's the number one. It's going, okay, cool. Okay, good. What happens if it goes away? Well, then all those people aren't your friends anymore, right? I mean, that happens. So prepare yourself a little bit for that mentally. They're always talking about the psychology of the market, right? Make sure that you're well-rounded enough as a trader to where you can look at another chart on something you potentially don't like, and purely from a technical basis, you can say this is a good chart, huh? It's like Ampleforth. I brought that up earlier. Do I like Ampleforth? Not at all, right? Is that my coin of choice? No, but look at the chart. Any trader's going to say that could make you some money, right? So I'm always interested, and I'd like to, not that I'm even going to trade it, but I like being able to discuss things in a technical manner so that we can say, yeah, if this were to go, we trade, right? That's what we do. So Bitcoin has been consistently this year capable of impressing people with the ability to trade. Period. It's generated massive returns for people who have been willing to trade and ready to catch it at the right time. Okay, so that's what we're looking for in terms of the current pattern formation. If buyers can continue, that doesn't mean we're not patient for a period of 2-3 weeks. Maybe for a period, I'm just going to tell you, of a month, right? If you can hit one of these, and I tell people all the time, right? If you can hit, and looks like Freddie's got a comment. Let me get it. Don't hate it. Don't date it. Just trade it. Yeah, you got that right, huh? That's right, Freddie. Absolutely. So we would look at this. I tell people, and they don't quite get it. I've talked to some big dogs, right? I'll just tell you in terms of the market, and I don't just say that. I've talked to, what do we say, like $500 million bucks? That's decent, right? Some people institutionally involved at like the $500 million range directly, making deals with exchanges, etc. I've talked with them, and the discussion I've had with them is, in the market, every year, you only really need to really meet your objectives like 2 golden arches. And these are guys that are, they're slinging $500 million bucks back and forth between exchanges, right? But they want to know about, like, well, what would you return? How would this work? Is like the key to this is you need some cyclical wave activity, right? Bitcoin's already given us enough in 2021 to be happy with. If it bit a few people on this last trade, I'll say this. A lot of people just talked about, well, I'll just cut even on the trade. It's going to cost you money even if you cut even to get in and out, particularly if you're on leverage or you have a margin. Don't ever just think, well, I'm going to get in and completely cut, and that's it, and it's going to be flat. That's it. Or, it's difficult to time it up with something that's this volatile. You guys know that with the volatility. Expect to pay to get in and get out. Not everyone's going to discuss that. Well, I cut the trade and I'm even. No, expect to pay for the privilege to trade this or that. If you cut it for a little bit of profit and you're used to doing that, you're probably going to miss some of the action to the upside, right? Some of that, just expect that, because I don't hear people saying that. It's like, well, I broke even. Well, did you pay anything to get in and get out? Right. On top of that, you got a margin going, you got different things. So, discuss things realistically. It's going to cost you to trade. If Bitcoin underperforms, it's going to cost you to be involved, right? It's a matter of fact. Unless you hit that 38.2 along the bottom, and I don't hear that realistically being talked about, right? Even sometimes if you're prepared, surge pricing in here, some of you may have wanted a position in here, and it's completely realistic, right? 38.2% retracement. If you're waiting for that, bam. Right? There may be a host of reasons why you weren't ready and waiting for this 38.2. You may have been, who knows, you may have been counting your money from the run-up or from a short or other activity. If you were counting your money and you didn't hit the 38.2, congratulations. I'll just say that, huh? If you were distributing it or counting it during that time and you missed that pickup, that's all right. You're going to do all right in the market. I really believe that. And I know some people who are literally counting money or distributing profits during that drop. So not bad. That's a good thing. In terms of this breakout, what I'll say sometimes, and this is a great pattern to talk about, right? Why is that a great pattern to talk about? Because it does bring up the notion of chasing price. It's not always easy. Were this to formulate, and people know this, you do know this, right? It's better to have a position sometimes. Why? Because I've been here, sometimes it likes to catch people, right? It does, right? Absolutely. Maybe not to that extent, but you understand there is a strategy of having a position, adding to a position, once it looks like this pattern were to formulate, right? And it's got a ways to go. We would need to pick up. Okay, we would need to pick up. Buyers would need to be here in terms of getting this ascending line of support going. We just love to see this occur instead of this very bearish pattern that we would get the expanding diagonal, right? So that is I guess that's the crux of the situation. Is you look at, did you waste money? Did you make money? How were you? How did you deal with this pattern in here, and try and learn from your essentially, guys, from your turns or your losses. And what I would say is, when we have this becomes kind of the crucial issue when we're consistently talking about something like the chop, right? The chop indicator. When we're talking about that, when we're talking about a heavy entry like this, it's just, are you willing to get bitten in terms of, like, maybe you would carry a BTC, like just flat out BTC. Maybe you would compound into leverage when you got up into this zone, right? Maybe you would do something like that, right? That might be, you would want to add to your position technically when you broke out of this level. Just, it's a matter of fact, if you look at the technicals here previously, it just definitely demonstrates that's kind of the, that would be the strategy to adopt. In each instance, it would have taken you up into the green on the chop, right? And the green, right? You guys understand what that is, right? The green on the chop, top level here. Let me go ahead and get into this. Right, the top level, the green on the chop. What do I do with the chop? And let's see, we got another comment. Let me see what's going on. Like the phrase, Freddie, everything comes better in threes. You got that right. Hey, everything comes better in threes, huh? Interesting technical statement there. Interesting technical statement there. If you guys are into technical analysis, that is very interesting. Very interesting. And I won't delve into it, but interesting comment. As we would look at, like, when does this become heavy? Bam, bam. What does that coincide with? You guys know chop, right? The chop index. All right, the chop index is along the bottom. What do? I double click on it, and it's essentially, it's just, guys, it's just an easy EMA color guide. We focus on it all the time. It comes in blue. I double click, I make it green, right? Are we green? Green means go. We're solid. We're, around here, that's real easy. Right, we know we're still green. We're still green, right? We're trading quickly on something, right? Different time frame, etc. You're about to go red. You're about to go, like, we're going green, right? I like that. Just fast pace, kind of boiler room style. Like, get it, get it in, get it out. The information. Where are we at now? We have some time to work on things right now, but things develop to the point where they become quick pace, right? They start to develop quickly, like at the low here, 29,750. Like, sometimes you need to be able to communicate with people on an expedited level, right? So that's one of our phrases that we use in terms of going green. We're about to go green, right? We're still green, right? Green means go. Green means chop for us. That's what it means. Okay, just above the EMAs. That's it's an RSI and EMA. Okay, that is the designation of it. So in terms of the chop, let me move that back down. And right now I have chop with, what do I have? Chop with the commodity channel index and the CCI. Let me pull that off. I do a lot of combinations. Let me see the relative strength index. Where is the RSI? Had that set up. I'll have to reset that up. I'm working on doing layovers on my, let's see here. There we go. I'm doing a lot of layovers these days. For instance, and I want you guys to experiment with, just on the right-hand side, let me pull this over so you guys can see the technique of doing this, okay, on your charts and trading view. Let me see how that looks, just so you guys can kind of refine this methodology, okay? As we would look at the right-hand column here, you can bring up, for instance, something from the bottom and mesh it with the other category. I can overlay chop zone, bam, with my MACD, RSI, and commodity channel index. Okay, that's important for me. Why? Because sometimes I want a confluence. Sometimes there's a pre-existing indicator, right? Yeah. But if I wanted to bring the chop down out of this combined zone, I would do such. It looks like my RSI is there. Is it there? Let me see where it is. Let's see where it is. Let me get rid of the commodity channel index. I'm going to have to re-add. Let's see. What I want is the following. I want to combine the commodity channel index and the RSI. Now, it's not showing it to me there. Where is it? Let me get rid of this, and I'm going to re-add it. You may have to re-add things, but this is a good approach in terms of your ability to combine the factors that you're looking for when you're looking for confirmation, right? What does confirmation mean? Well, it's a price movement, right? No, confirmation is all your indicators, all your time frames, everything, right? You need everything to be green, or you need, and to the extent that applies to other indicators, I'll go ahead and state that for the record now, that you need to be careful of that. Don't mix and match your indicators too much in terms of your language, right? If something else is green, I don't know what you may have as green. What I would say like I like just to take a look at this right now. I've combined the commodity channel index. You guys know commodity channel index, right? It is an abbreviated. Let me just do this. The CCI is an abbreviated form of the. And there, I put it on the screen. Abbreviated form of the RSI. Essentially, it's going to give you the RSI at different intervals, as if it were a lower time frame. Okay. Now the dig-ins, essentially, you're going to look at those as your RSI. You can read all about commodity channel index. It's helpful when combined with what? When combined with your RSI, when the two hit, okay, when your RSI is, just absorb this the best you can. When your RSI is below 30, at 30 or below, and your CCI is below -100, things become interesting. Okay, I'm just going to tell you, look for that confluence in your trading. That's one thing that I'm looking for right now in terms of Bitcoin. Now, on the daily, we didn't hit that. On the 4-hourly, okay, we just hit, in terms of this function, this pour down on the 4-hourly, I'm bringing up these two indicators, the CCI in combination with the RSI. Not just RSI went to such and such. No, I want the CCI. Do you see the overlay here on the bottom? Let me make sure you guys can see that, okay? Look at this. Do you see the overlay? Let me really okay, I'm going to make thin that CCI. Watch the CCI pour down into essentially this level RSI. Watch this. You see the CCI coming straight down into, and bam, a confluent hit right in this area. Yeah, okay. Do you see the CCI in this area come down a confluent hit? Just watch this. Bam. You see that? CCI is in blue. Bam. Okay. It's going below and well below its own what? Its own -100. That's its measurement. Okay. RSI is at 30, right? 30 to 70, right? Okay. So I look for a confluence between the CCI and the RSI. Okay. Now, you're going to do that, and you guys know how to look through your time frames. You're going to have, say, at first something that's really strong and really bullish on the way up is like, well, it hit it on the hourly. Sometimes it's on the 5-minute. Then it's, well, it's on the 30-minute. Then, oh, well, we're pushing to the hourly. Then it's, well, what now is, you know, we want it on the 4-hourly. Well, now it's on the 4-hourly right now, for instance. The time frames keep pushing up, the less bullish it becomes, okay? So we want this oversold and CCI at -100. We want that on at least the 4-hourly, if not the daily. A lot of buyers are sitting here still just looking at it like, yep, and it's RSI at 30 on the 4-hourly. Great. We just failed like that. I want it on the daily. I want to know we're oversold on the daily, right? So just always understand those dynamics, the way that they are in play, and I look forward to you guys doing more in terms of those technicals, okay? You're into technical analysis. Hopefully that CCI-RSI combo, look at it, analyze it, and drag it up the way that I did, okay? The way that I did on the side here. Make sure you combine those elements in the same channel. A lot of people wonder how to do that. If you want the RSI on your chart, there you go. Okay, if for any reason you wanted that and you want to go ahead and, well, I'm going to go ahead and do a, let's say I'll adjust the colors, etc. But where I can see a confluence or I can see some sort of, just do something like that. There we go. What's the background color? Let's do RSI fill, close to nothing, right in here. There we go. Now I have the RSI on. I drag it up into, right, the chart area with the trend lines. Then I have my RSI on the chart. Becomes a little interesting, right? Little something more to look at, right? Anytime we're down into this zone, and it becomes difficult because it will be down onto the price line, right? But you'll see also, you'll be able to see some different things. So I would encourage you, whether or not you do that with a chop or whether or not you do it, you can really fade them out of the background and really be able to see your indicators. Not everyone goes over that, okay? If I ever do that, they're like, wait, how did you do that? So I wanted to cover that tonight. Maybe you guys already know that. Maybe you're whizzes at TradingView. I try not to be too much of a technical whiz at it, I'll tell you that much. So in terms of, let's see, CCI, we have, guys, the MACD divergence has been a nightmare. If you guys are paying attention to that, if you guys are hearing that continually, I always tell people, just be careful, right? MACD divergences were all over the place up in this area. No kidding, right? They're all over the place here. It's consistent, right? And you'll find it, you'll see multiple bearish MACD divergences with the price just rocketing to the upside. Just be careful of a divergence, right? Just be careful of relying upon that fully. We're going to get into, I'm going to say, some pattern behaviors. That's our goal, is to get into some pattern behavior. And I just have, my thought, earlier today was like, get it beyond, I'd say overwhelmingly obvious. This is what kind of a standard I wanted to bring to you guys today. What's the next move that I want in Bitcoin to be? This would have been overwhelmingly obvious, right? Would you have wanted a position before you got into it? Potentially, right? But in terms of the breakout, it would have been really something that's just overwhelmingly obvious. That's just came to my mind, right? The market is good enough. I know we're all impatient. I know we want to. And sometimes you guys want to make a 10x in your account, right? I understand you're probably going to need to trade more, right? You're going to be exposed to more risk. All right, that's just it. Like, I want to make a 10x. You may be able to do that on one project. Maybe make a 100x on one project. We need to find that right project, right? We found a few this year. Hopefully you guys have traded those. Everything from AXS on its first bull flag to Luna at $4.60, right? Some great finds, okay? Matic on its first bull flag. A lot of projects we did find earlier on. What was that, SPS? Do you guys remember SPS on its debut went 10x in like 4 hours? You guys, I don't know who traded that, but I was like, this is an interesting coin. It went 10x in like 2 or 3 hours. So yeah, those will pop up right when everyone's ready to quit, right? Everyone's, I'm tired of crypto. They'll pop up, right? So we'll pay attention to them when they do. So in terms of this, let's just hope that the buyers can step in at some point. And let's pay attention to this. This is, I think the best scenario that we could get up through this, best number one scenario, we would have this upline resistance here, okay? And it could turn into kind of an interesting scenario. This has been the market. If you guys have been trading, you're like, no kidding, right? We have gotten up and through. We've gotten up and through this line of resistance here. Let's go ahead and make sure on that. I want to make sure. The problem is on a different time frame. Anyone who's trading, you're like, I know. Every time frame has had a different level of resistance. I have found time frames with different candle wicks on them. I'm going to tell you, if the price goes somewhere on a certain time frame, it's still going there on the other time frame. I've literally found different wicks. I've drawn resistance lines. I'm like, this is patently incorrect, right? Just very, very upsetting, right? So, yeah, we're going to have to work on that, right? I would hate to think that maybe the institutional investors are right now getting better somehow technicals than we might be. Now, if that were to occur, that would be a problem. Very interesting, huh? There's some tricks the institutional investors have that you guys don't, that we know about. Strainers, they'll call them strainers, okay? Filters for the market, right? If you guys know about this or not, institutional investors will have strainers. Or they call it a strainer, like you would put something in a salad or something and strain it and put water over it and filter out, and you just have the whatever the clean stuff left. They'll run a strainer on the market for their trades, and they'll come up with the exact patterning they want for for any type of candle pattern that they identify that they want. They'll just pick, choose, hunt, this and that. Boom, they've got it automatically generated and delivered for the morning. Well, what trades do I have this morning? Interesting, huh? So to the extent that there might be better technicals being delivered to the institutions right now, I'm a little interested in that, right? Not to insinuate that it's occurring, but I would say that something is going on with the technicals right now. It's just not, I don't want to start a conspiracy theory, but it's just, it with the understanding that we should be patient and wait for something that's really overwhelmingly clear in terms of a trade. I know we'll do fine. I'll just say that. I know that we'll do fine. The preceding zone here was overwhelmingly clear. I just say this. You guys know that. Nice run to the upside. Bull flag. We talked about the formation of this bull flag for a while, right? As it was forming, right? Yeah, we did. In line with this previous zone bull flag here, right? Just very consistent, very obvious if we go to the daily chart, right? We discussed the retracement at that level in December to January and likened it to this level here. So I'd say like overwhelmingly obvious, right? That was a nice move. Here, if we were to formulate an ascending triangle, I think it would be something that we could say, yeah, that's overwhelmingly obvious. That's nice. That would be a good pattern. But we'd like to trade bull flags. Absolutely. On almost anything that's going to give us a strong bull flag, indication of a trend. There's not many moves, right? You got to catch them early. So we're going to be focusing on that for the VIP. I just know this, guys. Like sometimes you know things. I know there are going to be projects that present themselves in the form of a bull flag. But we have to watch. We have to do the research, right? Identified a few new projects in the back for VIP, etc. And always, what's the key? Like, yeah, let's look for the bull flag. We'd like to see a nice rounding, right? A nice period of consolidation rounding. Like this would have been difficult. This, any kind of extended, formation here, just kind of a landing strip, I call this, right? And then the first bullish formation, boom, that's where we want to hit it. So we'll be definitely looking for those. I know they're going to be in the market this year. I know they are. There's so much going on with crypto. It's just, it would be, I'd say, nearly impossible for there not to be any real strong bull flags and cyclical movers in terms of Bitcoin. I am really I'd like to see some additional, you guys all would, some additional institutional adoption of the coin and not just the ETF, right? That's crucial, right? That their guys are trading the options, and I know some of those guys, right, from past or whatnot. That they're trading the heck out of the options, right? But I just don't want, I don't know. I don't want to be stuck with a bad spread on the order board for the ETFs that we're trying to trade and getting bad technicals. So, there have been a few instances that I may go ahead and complain to somebody about charts that didn't match up, just to let you guys know, right? I've seen charts that aren't accurate, that are inaccurate, and seen some other issues. And I'm the type of person, I'll bring that to someone's professional attention because I want to bring the best technicals. I don't like saying, well, the charts are different on these 3 exchanges. And, it's like, come on, get the pricing right. And some of that may just be it's unregulated to the extent that people call for regulation. We don't want that. If they would just regulate the exchanges, I don't understand. I mean, it's almost like a I hate to say consumer protection, but it's it's like an investor protection. It's a worldwide issue right now that someone has to get. It's kind of crazy that they haven't really gotten that straight yet, right? They're all up on the KYC. They want to know who everyone is, but they haven't gotten the technicals correct yet. Really? Yeah. So that's wild. As we would look at that, just a little critique, just neither here nor there, I would say. As we would look at this consolidation zone, nice potential pickup here. What we would say is be prepared always to operate at any point in this zone. Just tell you, if you have a carry factor right now, that's fine. Just be prepared to operate anywhere in this zone. You guys know that, whether or not it's through carry, if that's your level of risk tolerance to carry in this zone, you would want to compound down at lower levels, right? You don't want to erode. Let's just measure if we were to erode, let's say, down to this previous hit level at 41,000. 868. You don't want to erode 12% of the value of your holdings, particularly if you're on leverage, right? You don't want to go down if you're on a 5L, 60%, right? Unless you're going to slam in with 2 or 3 times that. It just doesn't matter. Just keep throwing cash at it in this level, right? And that, I'd say right now that would be kind of contraindicated by a few different things. To the extent that we pick up at this level, it becomes a little bit more comfortable. I think within the next day or so, let's say day, maybe, let's just measure out. Within the next, let's see. The next week should be really telling, right? And that's a while, but I think in terms of the time frame, we've just hit this level 3 times. 1, 2, 3, right? Essentially, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we've hit this level 3 times, and it's been some heavy pour downs consistently. It would be nice to see buyers continue to be involved in the market, right? Some institutional, I'd say, ownership has got to be expected. What will we say though? You guys know the most recent news that we had. It's popular news, but in around this zone was what? That Russia may outlaw it for their citizens. Now, I'm not going to comment at all geopolitically or anything else involved, but that's not the kind of news that we need, right? It's just not the kind of news that we need. They're a big country. They've got a big economy, et cetera. That's not what we need in terms of the news factor. The one good thing is that with the ETFs, et cetera, and you guys all know this, that trade with that factor around, with the existence of a 5L ETF. What does that mean? Well, that means that there's going to be volatility, right? Yeah, because they're going to have to wash out the 5Ls, the 5Ss. They're going to have to. So if we have to adapt to higher or lower prices, we can. We prefer higher prices. Always, we would. It's more of it's a nicer dynamic. I don't think we're spoiled at 47,900. If we were to look back, I hate saying we've traded sideways for the last 328 days. Okay? We don't want to trade sideways for the last 328 days, right? No. So at some point it becomes like come on, right? So we're looking for higher prices, absolutely. But things like Russia, things like Austria, to the extent they want to tax on unrealized capital gains, Yeah. Right, that's some pretty stout stuff. So let's give this a few let's give it a few days in terms of the exposure levels. You guys got the 38.2. You got your Fibonacci's down to the 50%. Right, you know your fibs. I would let's say this would be an interesting area in here. Let's just zoom in on this because why? Let's talk about the preceding level of support now. Bitcoin definitely likes to do this. Okay, the interesting thing about the pour down yesterday, it wasn't one of these slam downs. It was not one of these everyone get involved. It's about to swing back up. Right? It wasn't that. Right? It was this. Just it within its reason, but just bam, 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 and it was like, okay, this is not going to pick up on a fib, right? Anyone who was in it, I can talk from a little experience, like this ain't going to work, right? It didn't want to play ball at all, and we saw some really nice volatility out. This made things difficult. I'll just say that because in the preceding zone in this area, we really saw some nice volatility. We just did. We saw some nice pickups on the fib. So if you wanted to, okay, great, let's go ahead and roll with this. It was like, what? It was like, this is a little bit stout. We had kind of a pour down here, after kind of, I'd say a similar pickup with a pour down, So maybe we're in that zone right now. It's just the expectation was that we would have a little bit more action, okay, a little bit more in terms of the overall, Fibonacci's hitting. Looks like in terms of patterning, let's go ahead and look in here. I know a lot of people were looking for a pickup at different levels as well. I know individuals were looking for a pickup here because the buying had been so strong, looking for this to pick up, right? Looking for a pickup here, right? And, that not being a pickup. So really just a 1-2 looking right at you after we had really tried to traject to the upside, which is it was kind of a difficult hit down. Let's look at a lower time frame and see kind of what we are going into now. Looks like we may be formulating an ascending triangle in this area on a micro, and I did get a little turned around on a lower time frame earlier on. Sorry about that. Been on the lower or the higher time frames and looked through probably about 300 charts for you guys tonight. So yeah. HNT, thought that was interesting. HNT may be in a bull flag. Difficult to say that may play, but HNT has a great utility, etc. So you guys take a look at that if you're in VIP, etc. in the back DM. If I did put that in the back, there's a lot of new information back there. So pay attention to that. On the 5-minute, we may be in an ascending triangle. Gosh, this has been slow, guys. I got to tell you. Right, it's just some days this is slow, huh? You better be committed to really, being patient with this because it was in this forum. It was right up in here several hours ago, wasn't it? It was. If you've been watching it, like right? Because I was watching this earlier and I was like, okay, we're right up in here. It's like, okay, I'll stream in a few hours. It just feels like that. Let's see how long it's been. Maybe it hadn't been that long. Oh yeah. That was 5 hours ago. 5 hours ago, we were right here, and I was telling the VIP we may have an ascending triangle, right? 5 hours ago. Like, maybe it was in this zone, but, come on, huh? So, yeah, it looks like that is in the works with a potential kind of micro double bottom here. Let's see what the double bottom is expressed on. A little bit of an ascension there. Let's look on the 30-minute what it looks like. 30-minute. Anything interesting on the hourly? I'm always looking for, a double bottom that's well expressed. This is a great double bottom here, right? This multiple hits along this zone, very nicely done. And just always, just going to take note of something, particularly on a higher time frame. The bigger the double top, the more powerful it typically is, right? The bigger the double bottom in terms of the breadth, right? How far apart is it? What's the amplitude on it? Okay, the higher the amplitude, the wider the breadth, okay? The more wide that it is, the higher that it is, typically they're going to play out heavier to the upside, right? Or heavier to the downside. So this is a pretty significant, let me go ahead and release these, but a pretty significant double top here, just so that we would know, right? And that's how I measure them. Is it more significant? And I do these comparatives. Is it more significant than this level here? Potentially. Potentially, with the understanding that we do have, and you guys understand that, is the amplitude, okay, the breadth here, it's about the same in terms of the breadth, but I would definitely look at that, right? Always, guys. What's the amplitude of this double bottom, right? And the amplitude of this double top. Is it about the same? Not quite so much on the top, right? You can eyeball that, etc. But you have a small little double bottom. It's not going to do the same as a huge monstrous double bottom, right? Yeah, so always pay attention to that. What's the market telling you in terms of the top formation, bottom formation? What is establishing the base versus the top, right? We do have the notion of an ascending triangle that is probably interesting buyers to an extent right now, and everything's just kind of in this contradictory mode. It has been for a while, right? We've been in this. Everything has had a contraindication to it. So, as we would look at the, I'd say, as we would look at the notion that we would be in an expanding wedge, right? Kind of a diagonal, expanding diagonal, okay? As we would look at that notion, we are in the process of trying to combat that with the notion of an ascending triangle. Why? Because, yes, we have established multiple hits, multiple lines along the same, I say multiple hits along the same or pivots along the same line of resistance. That's negative. Well, you would say it's negative unless you're trying to build out, and the people who understand an ascending triangle would understand, yeah, it's perfect for an ascending triangle. And it's relatively perfect in terms of having met the threshold here. It's really close, right? We always look for a perfectly flat top line, okay? When you start to fake out a little bit up here, this and that, you start to push into an ascending wedge, right? So we don't want that. We always want that flat top to work with, okay? A little bit of variation in here, a little bit of a fake out there, but within, I'd say, a zone of tolerance, okay? Something that we would find tolerable. So let's see, let the price action develop a little bit in terms of becoming quote-unquote bullish on this. It's within the realm of possibility. I'll just say that we need to hold. Where are we at right now? We're up 0.5% right now, and looks like Rose is up 12%. Very nice. Let's look at Rose real quickly. They have a great partnership list. I really delve into the partnership list today. I'm not crazy about other partners, okay? But in terms of this, just been a nice. I covered it in around this area, just live, just to talk about generally what the technicals looked like. And I'll just say this: if you guys are trading, congratulations. A lot of times when I bring something up else like this, is kind of a new project, I don't always necessarily trade it myself, okay? If it's like a screaming market sensation, sometimes I'll do it, but sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'll let you guys just trade. In terms of this, we have a mid-level function. If you guys go to the line chart, and Rose has just really been phenomenal. It's up 12% tonight, about 61%, and on so many number of days. Watch that mid-level formation. And here, in terms of the idea of a super trend or whatnot, we'll look at Matic real quickly, right? Matic brought it the first bull flag in this area, bam, to the upside, went down 75% in, what was it, 4 days, guys? And then went up 236% in 4 days. Crazy price action. Definitely manipulated. Seems like it was. I just have to say for the record, it was just like, what's going on with the price action? This is just wild. I don't know one single investment that would dip down that far to pick up orders. I don't know. I was like, really? That's probably because I'm live streaming, but that's okay. As we would look at the definition of let's see here, guys, of a super trend, right? It is, we're going to take a flat line. I have a few different ascending triangles that are thrown into the mix here for purposes of analytics, because we're also into this trend line, right? We're also into this upward trend. Normally those come along, okay, they come along with an ascending triangle, which is roughly indicated. Don't pay too much attention to all of the lines here. These are some price targets, etc. on Matic. We were around live streaming all of this, so we go back with Matic quite a ways. A lot of VIP got in Matic early. So anytime that you push this top line resistance on a channel line formation, that is the establishment of a super trend, okay? It's trying to super trend, throw over. This is the throw over zone, right? I discussed this last stream or the stream before. Typically, these don't want to hold technically. I'm going to tell you technically. Now, Matic is Matic, guys. If it wants to formulate some beautiful bullish pattern and traject up, that's great. I didn't want people entering, okay? I did not want people entering necessarily on this breakout of this channel. It just, it is a super trend. And if you look at AXS and some other really strongly moving coins this year, they did the same thing and they powered down through. So just be careful of that, watching for pattern conformance in line with some sort of a bullish formation here. It can do it. Just if you played the breakout here of this micro pattern, it became a little bit difficult. So I'm glad that we were able to cover that basically in its basic form. And again, I just want to return to the idea, like not overly obvious, just convincingly obvious. I want to get into a trade. I want something to be really, really solid, really secure in terms of the next trade that we're all looking at for Bitcoin. This wasn't it. I also want us to be patient. I want us to find the first bull flag, definitely a bull run. Let's not chase. And I know a lot of people got into it because what do we say? How we had multiple different contraindicated everything down to different lines and patterns on almost every chart that we had on every single coin. It's just, I don't know, guys. We get thrown at. I mean, they throw a lot of curveballs at us, right? But this was easy, right? This preceding zone on Bitcoin was easy. I hate to say it was easy, but it was pretty easy, right? The pickup zone was pretty easy. This flag formation was pretty easy, right? Calling the double top, right, with Austria, and that was pretty easy, right? I mean, you guys have to admit, right? This zone in here, that was pretty easy, right? I mean, that wasn't too difficult. It's like this thing, the problem is we just had contraindications. Like, what I don't like about it, it's like, yes, okay, well, this was easy here, right? The breakout of this was easy, right? This falling wedge. Like, it was real easy, right? We had, what is this? You guys saw this in the back with the VIP DM. Literally me bringing you just like, verbatim. Okay, here's the page in the book. That's exactly what it's going to do there, right? Hopefully you guys traded, right? Now, in terms of that was easy, but what was contraindicated there? Well, it was kind of also contraindicated by the, what was it? We had this. This is why it wasn't easy, right? Well, it was contraindicated by the daily, right? So, yeah, we can say it was easy. It did what, we wrote down it was supposed to do. But you're contraindicated by the daily, right? Which let me turn this line pink so we can remember this, just bubblegum pink. Let me get that in the mix. There we go. So yeah, we had that on the daily. So you're supposed to power in on potentially a leverage position or otherwise on the breakout of a falling wedge with a line of resistance right above you. Right? And you can't, I just guarantee you cannot negotiate the bid ask on a 5 ETF at all worth a darn with a 4% spread. You could try, but the number of times the exchange will let you do it, it was probably, you counted on one hand. So these were the problems on every time frame, everywhere we were, right? And so I'm looking for something that's really clear. I want something that's kind of exceedingly clear, something that can be a little bit more, more productive for the entirety of the market, right? And that's going to be the goal as we look at the development, the pattern development. Let's try and find something that's really solid, something without just a clear next. I mean, it's been so tight, just a clear next level of resistance, right? Contraindicated on, it's either the 5 minute or the 30 or the 1 hour or the 4. It's just consistent. It's been like that. So let's just chalk it up to being in a really choppy zone, right? And it is the end of the year. It's been an incredible 2021. We're looking forward to an incredible 2022, and I mean that, huh? And I tell you guys, some of my favorite people are in VIP. It's just really cool, and I appreciate you guys being the consummate professionals. Go ahead and shout out in the VIP if you guys have any additional questions, any comments, or anything like that. I'll be happy to cover them, and we will go over to the extent necessary. I want to just absolutely focus on this right here. I would love to see this happen. Me personally, I would love to see some sort of and it may be extended. If you guys look at this line, depending upon where it may pick up, it may be an extended pattern. I would just love to see some sort of a reversal that we can all count on. We have this. Look at this top line. Very nice, very nicely done and around this. We say it's not good. Well, it can't get over 52,000, but yeah, but it's nice because it's consistent. Right, that's exactly what we need for an ascending triangle. So, yeah, I'm excited about this. I'd like to see, and I'd like to see it happen. But we do even have a nice, as we haven't been able to really perfectly explain what this is. Right, well, that's a nice channel formation within the ascending triangle. If you guys trade on the micro quite a bit, right? Yeah, looks good, doesn't it? Yeah, if you guys trade quite a bit at the lower levels, now you're seeing, yeah, this does look good, doesn't it? Right, so we have this channel downward, right? Then we have the channel, let's see, this channel upward, right? We're formulating, potentially this ascending triangle, building out the structured channels within this, right? So we do have a real severe drop down here. We need to pick up. We have to pick up. We cannot set this down here. I don't want to be stuck with, well, are we going to count the candle wick as as the initiation of the triangle. I don't want to necessarily go there, right? If we go there, we're right on the brink of having to hold this level essentially to maintain the line of support. So just watch Bitcoin, see what she does, and let's see if I'm going to say if the buyers can come in. Guys, a lot of this is programmed in line with market cap. You guys, in line with, you have to understand exchanges in line with liquidity needs, their positions, etc. And we can guess as to how complicated that may be. How about that? I'll just say that we can only guess as to how complicated that may be. The bottom line is we want to see the buyers, we want to see the price, okay, pick up in the zone, right? So we'll go through the Fibonacci's real quickly. Again, you guys have your macro levels, just some micro levels. Even on this, it just hasn't been real clear in terms of the actual Fibonacci levels to pick. It just hasn't been. I've drawn them 2 or 3 times on 2 or 3 different levels, and it's just like it's just been semi. I say this is as good as you could get. The previous level here on the candle wick to the candle wick, and it's just been aggressive enough. It's just poured through a few different levels, but it's just not really even on a level per se right now. All right, it flew through that specific golden pocket. If we went through the point of the breakout, even to the point of the breakout, now we could go. Let's. It's just. When I look at a chart and I can't find the Fibonacci's, you guys understand, I've done, what, 5,000 charts with Fibonacci's? We can throw, literally, this is just unbelievable. You guys know how many Fibonacci's we've done? Try and draw the Fibonacci's on the hourly right now. I'd be impressed. I'm going to tell you, I'd be impressed. For me to have this discussion right now, I have drawn literally 10,000 of them. We almost wrote the book on it, maybe too much so. Interesting, maybe too much so in terms of our Fibonacci approach, etc. Very odd that it wouldn't be working. I have to say that. Let me go to the core deep value 1 through 10. They're not going to beat this. All right, no one's going to beat this. What is this? Core value. All right, my core value acquisition model on my Fibonacci's. Or what? Essentially, they're going to have the, let me make sure we have this. We're going to do it like this. It's always pink towards the top. There we go. Let me see that. There we go. Okay, it's going to have discount levels from, and that even reversed it. I never draw it like that, ever. But we're going to have the 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%, etc. So these are going to be, and no, I do. Let me see. This is the different. I have 2 different ones of these. One's inverted colors. Don't worry about that. There we go. 10% level. This is the right one. Let me make sure. I've got a few different ones. Template. What's my core? Just want to say I've got like 10 different ones of these. Give me 2 seconds. 1 through 1 and 50. Come here. 1 through, if it'll let me. Come here. Let me see what we've got on this. Okay, this is a nice one. The 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Not as nice. What did I go with? I'll just do the core deep value. What I do is I line these out with literally just, if you're into heavy accumulation in a zone and it's really difficult on the Fibonacci's, you have multiple patterns, cross indications on different time frames, and that's what's going on with this. Your time frames are completely messy with you. It's not the hourly, it's not the this, that. It's some other time frame that's probably not getting picked up. I go through literally and do 10% intervals in terms of the essentially my pricing tool, and do where I double click, just so you guys know, and do 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You're going to catch, if you're accumulating and you're compounding into your position in this zone, that's probably the safest way to do it. If you're confident, let's say, well, two conditions, exist. One, you have backup resource, you have backup capital at lower levels, and you're able to, of course, go through, set your orders, right? You can either set your orders literally on ETF coins if you're at that level in terms of being an experienced trader, etc. If you have that cash flow, that level of cash flow, and you just want to compound into ETFs, they can trade like that. So make sure you're on an exchange with sufficient liquidity, okay? That you have an exchange with sufficient liquidity and you have sufficient backup resource capital. Heavy reserve capital is what we always, it's not advice, anything, it's just what I see people that do well in the market. It's what they do, okay? So, and we've had some people who've done very well in the market in our group. Absolutely. Very nice to be able to facilitate that. And so that would be the fix to kind of a mixed Fibonacci set, right? Just hammer into it like this if you'd like to. What I would say is if you're waiting for something that's really obvious, you want to crack your knuckles out and really get involved in a really big trade, right, for you, let's let the patterns develop. Let's see what we come into play. Let's see what does come into play. The good thing is we were prepared for this just with a easy cross diagnostic just to the preceding interval level here. I mean, just real easy on this. I wanted to see how far ago this was. That was just within the last September or so, within the last 3 months or so, 2 to 3 months. We just knew we had to get up and out of this level here, right? We knew we had to get up and out of this level here, and we just didn't. So the good news is if we've dropped in, let's see if the price can kick up at buyers. If there's enough demand, we can get back up, and let's formulate an ascending triangle. Let's get on up to some higher prices. Let's go through this. Let's just measure up roughly where that would put us. If we could complete that, that'd be about 60,000. That'd be awesome. Wouldn't that be nice? $60,000 Bitcoin would be nice. So I'm looking forward to that potentially completing. Let me see what we got here from Jeffrey. Jeffrey, what's going on? Hey, London, been a long time since I was around. Hey, nice to see you live this time of the night. Yo, what's going on? Jeffrey, it has been a while. Where you been, brother? Where have you been? Jeffrey has been MIA. Absolutely. But we have been too with Jeffrey. We're always in the back. We are always in the back with VIP, etc. Always doing charts. Look at all these charts we did with, let's see what we got. I did this for the VIP, etc. Yeah, what did we do? Look at all these charts I went through tonight, just so you guys know. I mean, what did we go through? Tonight I went through diagnostics on at least 20 coins, right? Probably 20 coins in the back. DM restricted zone VIP. If you guys are VIP, Jeffrey is a member. If you're VIP and you're not in the DM restricted zone, if anything happened and you got kicked out or anything reason you're not in the VIP, guys, you need to join. I want you in the back. We went through so much in terms of the diagnostics tonight. Look at all these charts. This was just tonight. I went through all the major ETF coins, literally each and every one of them, and said this is where we're at on each one, just to let you guys know, just to present some. What it does is it refreshes me in terms of the overall condition of the market, which coins are moving, which ones aren't, which ones you guys are trading, which ones you're not, right? And it just makes sure that we're not letting any of the major movers fall through the cracks, right? I want to know at each point in time when I see the board light up on the right, when I see that board light up, right, I want to know, right, where it's at in the price, where it's at in its pattern. Is it something predictable? Has it been exhibiting good patterns or technicals, or has it been something that we don't want to trade, right? So I'm always looking for just as much information as I can in terms of the research and as accurately presented as possible. I really try and focus on that. It's not always easy with crypto. You guys know that. It's like it's just not always easy. I know sometimes the information that we're given is not. It's just not. I don't know. It's just they're not regulated. I have to say that. It's just Coinbase. I think it may be a good. I hate to say that because they shut down, don't they? They do. They close the exchange on people. When things get rough, they'll shut down the exchange. You can't get out. So I can't say that they're good. But they, and you would say, well, at least they have some degree of liability. They're a public company, right? Publicly traded company. They have shareholders that could sue them or something. They shut the exchange down. Like things get rough, they'll just shut the exchange down. So it's just not. We're in one of those like growth phases. Absolutely, we're in a growth phase for crypto. So. Let's see what we have. VIP, it looks nice. Check it out. Yeah, it would be nice to have you guys there. And we're just, it's a cool group. It just is. Some guys have been around for a while. We have some nice families. Shout out to Luke, AJ Crypto. Shout out to everybody in the back. I'm not going to start naming names because I'll be here for a while, right? But maybe I should do that with the Ferrari up and everything. Maybe we should start doing like a run through of people's names and everything. That'd be cool. Like, I don't know, you're next to the VIP sign. Maybe I'll start. You have Josh in the bottom right. Shout out to Josh. $1 Million Champ, right? Very cool. Very cool for Josh. Excited, huh? Excited that we have the $1 Million Champ. I put him and one other guy up to the challenge, right? And he won. Josh won. He had $1 million in earnings, and it was so nice. I saved the message. It was just like, London. I listened. I applied everything you said, and essentially he came, he saw, and he kicked its rear, right? But he gave me a lot of credit, and I give him all the credit back because that's just that's real classy of him to do that. I appreciate that very much, Josh. And so in terms of the Bitcoin situation, that was funny. My keyboard automatically just flipped over to Doge. I don't know why. I literally just hit my keyboard and wham, Doge came up. I hope you guys have been doing well on Doge. Where is Doge? I have no idea, man. I mean, knowing Doge, I'm just going to say this. It's going to do this until everyone gets bored, doesn't pay any attention, and then it's going to blast through the roof like 10x. I'm just going to say it because it has a habit of doing that, and everybody knows that, right? So, I'm all about do only good every day. I thought was a cool deal. It doesn't have utility. Yeah, I know guys who say something doesn't have any utility, and they'll go make a copycat program of a different program, and they'll sell it like it has utility. I'm like, well, okay, that's fine. You just stole the code from Ethereum, and now you're saying your project has utility? Like, okay, dude, why don't you go buy some Dogecoin? It's just, I don't know. Because you guys see that in the market, too. You have to admit, like, well, such and such is a big critic. He says it doesn't have any utility. It's like, well, you just stole Ethereum's code. Like, or, not for Dogecoin. I'm saying for another project they'll have. Then they'll go tout it. And like, dude, you just went and stole code to start your company, right? And you're lambast. I think it's funny. I just do. I'm not even really defending Dogecoin. It's just a humorous, like, crypto kind of phenomenon, right? Guys will come out, I have a new project. Dude, you stole the code. It's like, that's cool. Just admit you stole it, and just go buy some Dogecoin. Just chill out and buy some Dogecoin and just hold on for a while. I don't know. It's interesting, right? And I know some guys that are heavy in Doge, by the way. Heavy, guys, heavy. I mean, I'm just telling you, some random people. Just random people. I know some random guys that are heavy into it. I met a guy at the gym the other day, and I've known him for a while. I'd say of him, not necessarily, but this and that. He tells me he's got $1 million in Doge. I'm like, what are you doing with $1 million in Doge? He's like, well, I had some extra cash. Just want to throw it in something. I figured it'd be good. I'm like, okay, man. Okay. It's like, you got $1 million in Doge. Like, hey, he's riding Doge. Heavy, right? But it has a psychological effect, even guys that have money. And a lot of people got involved in crypto with something like Doge. Some people with Bitcoin, some people with Ethereum, etc. All have their own nuance, their own culture, right? Their own reason for kind of, being in the market. But it definitely has its, it definitely has its effect on you. It's a psychological, it's very psychological. They talk about the psychology of the market all the time as we're talking about the hope here that we get an ascending triangle with Bitcoin. That's our hope that this pickup actually lasts. Buyers can step in up 0.43% to 47,750. Okay. Big pour down. We covered this just to rewind a little bit. If you're new to the stream, go ahead and hit the like button. Let me know that you've shown up. That will help me know that I need to cover some information from the beginning of the stream. You guys know that we covered this top line resistance, same as the previous zone. Really easy, right? Really straightforward. Needed to cover it, that we would have some. Essentially, we would have on the hourly chart, we would have indication that we were moving above. We had that here. Nice, strong indications on the hourly. Slowly building candles. Boom, 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 boom. Working our way up on just that previous intermittent zone. Okay, it can be replicated on the aforementioned, I'd say, or the much previous months back in terms of the time frame analogies. But this was just right here in front of our face. It was literally just this easy for us to view. This just happened, right? What do we need? We just need the hourly, right? We need that hourly to pick up and slowly start to grind up over that line of resistance. So we did hit that line of resistance, relatively top, okay, flat top. Okay, we look for that flat top. Pardon, guys, but as that flat top, essentially, the more flat that this is, and it's like, well, we got rejected 3 times. That can be great if you got rejected 3 times and it's completely flat. Why is that? Because an ascending triangle requires as flat of a top line as you can get it. When you see a flat top line, buyers become interested. I'll just tell you, traders they're going to start looking at this thing. Everyone's wondering, can we establish an ascending line of support here? That's the key. That is the focal here. And I just tell you, buyers are interested right now because we have this flat line. Okay, it's not maybe something that's intuitive, right? You think, well, no, it's like a double top or a triple top. No, they're interested right now because there is a flat line. I just say, if you trade a lot, you know that. If you traded ascending triangles, they make good money when they play out well. So let's continue to just watch the price action develop. If you're on the sidelines for now, hey, save that dry powder until you got something, until we have some additional price action. Let's see if and when we can kick up into a nice, real obvious pattern. You guys know the 38.2 is right down here again at the 41,723. Maybe a good place to have orders waiting, right? Be difficult maybe to get past the 45,486, right? Yeah, so Let's look at the, what is the other thing we want to look at? The 50% retracement. Let's just identify that zone real quickly. 50% retracement would be right at 34,425 thereabouts, guys. 34,425. Just understand there's going to be orders waiting at that level. Okay, there's just going to be. You guys know 50% retracement, etc. Now the 50% retracement was down here at 30. You guys remember that? Yeah. Hit that multiple times, just hammered into that zone. I talked earlier on, if you're just joining the stream, about this previous expanding diagonal wedge on the let's see, on the 4-hourly and the daily, right? I hated doing it. Everyone knows I hated doing it, right? The entirety of the time I'm streaming, like, this is a bearish pattern. I don't want to tell you this is a bearish. I had to say it a billion times, right? And no one wanted me to be right. It's boring to hear it, right? But it's just the truth, right? And you guys, we knew that. And it did. It caved out of there and really slammed down beyond what anyone really wanted it to. But we call it like we see it, period. We have to, right? I don't want people walking around, well, got overexposed, got overinvolved. Always have heavy reserve capital, right? That's number one. Always stack the cash. Heavy reserve capital. Crypto can rip it out of your hands. Have excess stacks you can throw into it, right? Those are the guys who are doing well in crypto, essentially. Those guys, or the ones that are hopping into hot projects. I'm looking for some hot projects in 2022. I want to I want the group to have like 100x or something like that, 1,000x, right? We had it 2021, we had it. 20 to 21 had it, right? Let's get it. Let's find it. Let's do it, right? We're going to work. I want a startup lead. I also want someone I can work with. I want someone who's involved in an exchange type mentality. I have a great idea for an exchange. I'm really excited about it. It's just cool, guys. If you like to trade, I should just tell you guys, huh? I don't know when to tell you. I don't know when to tell you guys or not. It's just an awesome idea. I just don't even care. It's such a good idea. I just want someone to do it. It's not even just me. I just want somebody to do the exchange, right? I should probably just tell everybody, huh? Maybe I should tell you. All right, I'm going to tell you guys. You ready? Yeah. Okay, cool. Hey, I told the VIP I'd tell them for Christmas and for New Year's. I'm not sure how many people are here. This is my idea for an exchange. If it already exists, I want to trade it. You tell me where it is. What I want are dual option contracts, okay, backed up into coins. We can do this through a coin, okay, but I think it has to be facilitated through an exchange. What I want is when I buy something, and I'm sure I need to ask my buddy from JP Morgan, okay, I never sat at an options desk or anything else. He may know the answer to this question. I'll ask you guys. When I buy, I want to go long. Boom. This is my exchange. I have a specific name for it, all crafted out as well. But my idea, hereby copyrighted under whatever kind of cool principles exist, all right, and common law and whatever. What I would say is when I buy, it executes a long position. Boom. Okay? When I sell, boom, it automatically keeps me in the game, period. It automatically keeps me in the game, and it executes a short. Boom. When I sell the short, boom, I'm entered back into a long. Boom. When I sell, okay, I can do it either through a primary coin, etc. When I'm out of the position, it's carrying a short for me, all right? That's the exchange that I want. So that I don't have to flip back and forth. Really two reasons if I can make this work. Why? Because in terms of ideally, I don't want to pay the entry fee necessarily. If I can consolidate the fees on both sides of that, bid, ask, make it more efficient, etc., I would love to be able to trade on that basis. Okay? Understand, I would buy. Essentially, it's not an option. I don't want to be on, I'm in huge leverage. I don't want people to go into margin. I want it to be like a BTC 2L. Okay, let's do a 2L. No problem. A 2 long. Cool. Some coin, something on an exchange. This is my exchange idea. You buy it, boom. Great, we have a long that's generated. Well, you get to resistance. What are you going to do? Well, you're going to sell. Okay, most of the time, you're out of the market. Boom, you're out of the market. No, in my exchange, I want to facilitate when you sell it, bam, an automatic short is generated and you're still in the market. So you can literally sit there and trade on a lower time frame, etc. And every time you release and you're out of the market, you still have the opportunity to make money. But it makes it a completely different game in terms of your participation in the market. You're not running back and forth between a long and a short position. Bam, it's done automatically. You guys like that idea? It's cool, huh? And the specific name for the exchange that I have this idea for, there's other ideas. That's the primary idea. So you go in long, you sell it up here, boom, automatically it's automatically generated into a short, and on the micro, right on the micro time frame, to where you don't have this, excessively, well, I mean, because I don't see what's the point. You're selling it. It needs to generate without the need for it to really, not to really carry negatively, right, in terms of the price action. You enter into a short, well, it's got to go down over this. I don't like that. I want to give people the credit for selling a short, right, or for selling it at the right time. Well, immediately you're put into a short, right? So, and I want it to work on the lower time frames where people can just chew into the lower time frames, just long, short. And I understand that there are limitations functionally in terms of the contract, et cetera, the way that it's written, that there has to be some processing, but that's what I want the exchange to solve, is so that at any point in your time you're buying, okay, great, you're in a position. When you sell at resistance, bam, well, you're immediately, like you can't leave your seat. You can't stop trading. You're zoned in. You're it. That's it. You're in. You get it? It's just, it's like that to me is pro. I don't care what credentials you have or what license you have. If you can trade like that and not have to worry about, well, let's flip back through, okay, let me go find my other coin, my other position. I don't want to do that. I want it all consolidated. So that's my idea. I wanted to bring it to the VIP. I hope you guys like that. I think that's a cool it's a cool start for an exchange idea. If that exists already, you guys tell me. But that's what I want. Anytime you sell it, bam, a short is automatically created. Okay, so I told the VIP that I would bring that to them around Christmas. So that's just that's the idea. It's got a cool name too. You guys are gonna like the exchange name, and not that it's being put together tomorrow, but I want to find people who want to work with traders on something like that, who want to build something really cool like that, kind of a next level. And it's not going to be like, oh, I'm going to compete with Binance, or we're going to build another Binance tomorrow. That's not the idea at all. It's something to facilitate really aggressive, like separate the men from the boys in terms of trading. That's just what I want, and to facilitate, because the crypto market's all messed up with options and ETFs, etc. That's what I want to see in the market. Something cool like that, right? So it would be cool if we were able to do that. I think a lot of the VIP would like that. I know they would. So anytime you sell it, automatically you sell it resistance, it's automatically going to generate a short. Okay. Well, you flip it, you click again. Well, you're in a long. Okay, you click it, boom. Boom, 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 boom. I like that dynamic. I'd like to see, I'd like to be able to trade like that, and right now I can't. It takes too many this and that. The spread is off on my, it just constantly is, right? I have to deal with the spread immediately. I have to change over the technique. It's not conducive to full-time trading. It's like half the time you're running around between a bid and an ask on something that's already outpriced by the time you get there. So that's one of the ideas I have. Hope you guys like that idea. If you have additional ideas and you'd like to share them with me on the exchange idea, please you can go to Bitcoin Spike if you want to. But you can see in the top left of your screen, right? That is us. If you're new to the stream, if you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button, get notified. We have great stuff. Shout it out to him after the Fed decision today. Anyway, we have some fun interaction going on, and the VIP group has been around for a while. We have some real pros, real cool guys, good group, trying to hold on to this line of support. Okay, we want this to be an ascending line on Bitcoin. We just do. If it were to go down and then ascend, that'd be fine, right? We just want the buyers to step in to the extent that we can respect the idea of an ascending triangle. That's our way up right now. Looks like we are frustrating a little bit, down a little bit. Not necessarily, but from where we were. Let's look at this pattern identification. Let me move my mic a little bit. Yeah, and we were in, this is a good little microcosm of what we're in, essentially trying to formulate at the lower time frame, and ascending triangles here as well. So a little bit of a micro of what we're trying to accomplish in the macro. Okay, micro, small time frame, zoomed in. we're trying to establish and see rough equivalents of, really close. Top line resistance met. Bad news? Well, not if buyers step in. It's going to be a classic ascending triangle. This one's been going on for a number of hours. Bitcoin's slow, right? It is slow. Is this 12 hours? We've been trying to formulate this for the last 12 hours. So we have to kind of wait through this and see if the buyers are going to step in. Let's see what we had. Previous level on the lower time frame failed. This specific looks like a coil, right? Symmetrical triangle. Failed the symmetrical triangle. Really the first decent kind of patterning formation. So we tried to pick up with the, essentially they call this a coil or a symmetrical triangle. That failed. Right now we're trying to hit a reversal pattern in the form of an ascending triangle. So let's see what we have here in terms of, what do we got here? I believe Bitcoin can go to 20K if the ascending triangle fails. There you go. There we go. Y'all talking about your, brand new in Ethereum EFT. Let's see, tokens. So no idea if pump and dump. Let's see. What do you got? You got something in terms of a new coin for us to talk about. What do you got? Let's see what we got. Hey, it's been a long time since you've been around. Yeah, Jeffrey, I'm so excited you're around, brother. It's nice, huh? Miss you guys. You guys don't understand. When you're not around, we miss you guys, huh? Seriously, huh? Some of my best, my favorite people around are in VIP. It just is that way. And I hate when people lose or people leave or they had a bad trade. I tell everybody all the time, like, don't be overexposed. Like, I should tattoo that on the front of the Twitter or something. Just don't do it, because people love to play too heavily and they have expectations. Well, I have to multiply my money by 10 or 100, or else I'm not gonna have a good. Come on, like, and if someone's ever wrong, like, we'll get over it. Like, I can't stand that. People get the market wrong. They get a trade, and not with you guys, not with Jeffrey at all. But it just we wind up losing some friends. Looks like Bitcoin is trying to fail this right now. We don't want that. Looks like on the actual line. Let's go to the 5-minute here. Maybe we got into a situation where we were constructing. Let's go into this. Can you hold that? See, that's the crucial level right there. Can you hold that? Come on, Bitcoin. What you got? Buyers trying. Let's see what we got. Okay, a little differentiation on the lines from the candles. Have you guys been trading much? I assume you have. If you're into technicals and you're up at this hour and you're focused on it, huh? Unbelievable, huh? Contraindications between the lines and the resistance, lines of resistance. It's been unbelievable. Would you guys agree? I mean, I've traded some. We've streamed. I've traded a lot of different stuff, guys, throughout this year. We've been through some heavy action. Right, between Matic, etc. I mean, I bring up Matic because the price action on Matic was unbelievable. We've been through some heavy stuff. This was unbelievable in terms of the contraindicated technicals, everything else. I'll take huge amounts of volatility, but don't send me 15 different signals with 5 different. I mean, it's literally I'll switch the time frame between two MACD divergences. They're completely opposite. Right? You guys saw that? Like, come on, man. It's like, it starts to become useless to look through the different time frames. It was just like, it started to feel like that, right? So this would be the pick up, and just the level of specificity needed to really hone in on, between and you guys know this, between the 5-minute. Okay, let's get to the 1 minute. We get to the 1 minute. Is it going to play the 1, the 5, or is it going to be literally? I started getting in the 15-second. And I'm like, man, I don't make macro decisions on the 15-second. It's like this is not conducive right now. It was really, really tricky on a lot of different levels. So it looks like buyers trying to step into this level, trying to maintain that level of, we have that flat line. Just another kind of example here, right? We have flat line on the 5-minute. Now the 1 minute will be, and see, on the 1 minute we're going to lose. This is Bitcoin, right? It's been like this, right? You have a flat line on the 1 minute, right? On the 1 minute, the issue here is what? Well, we want an ascending, right? On the 5-minute gives us the ascending line of support. This is exactly what I'm talking about. It's been like this consistently. The 5-minute gives us the top line of support, the ascending line of support required for what? For the ascending triangle. right? But we have to go to the candle wicks to get the flat line of resistance, right? So we have to mix and match each and every pattern. It's been like this. It's been bad. You guys know this, right? And so on the actual here we go. This is what we wind up doing. On the actual line, 5-minute line chart, if we stick with the top level, which we know is flat, right? Which we know is flat, and we want to give it that because we know it's flat. It's more bullish, right? But what are we still dealing with? Well, we're really dealing with on the line. If we're going with the line, we're dealing with an ascending wedge, which is bearish. This has just been the story of the last 2 weeks. And I'm not much for complaining, right? If you can't, throw at it. If you're going to trade, throw at it. Enjoy it, right? Do something. But when it's like this, and then like all I need to do is just switch between 3 different. If it's 3 different separate, contraindicated signals, it's like. You have a bullish divergence on the RSI. You have a bearish, MACD, and then you have on 2 other time frames you have conflicting signals with the CCI or whatnot. I mean, it literally has gotten like that. You're like, good, and the way that you guys know this, the way that the MACD divergences have been playing out to indicate bullish runs has been absurd. If you guys have looked at it enough, and when I hear other channels right now talk about and selling out MACD, I'm like, oh yeah, sure, yeah. I'll look at momentum. Absolutely, I'll look at momentum. No problem looking at a momentum, nice big blue wave, etc. on the daily. Like it, love it, important, right? But I mean, I don't know how many charts we'd look at, and you guys know this. As we're waiting to see whether or not we can develop something. I'm going to say bullish here, but this is very indicative of what Bitcoin's been doing. Right? And it's taking how long to do this? We're trading Bitcoin. Taking 13 hours to do this. Right? Taking 13 hours to give us cross indications. We have a flat top of resistance. That's what we need, right? So what we would do is this, right? We would push this line, right? Because we don't want a flat channel on the bottom. We don't necessarily want that. Just a straight line channel. We need the buyers to pick up. So I guess the fix is this. Let's just fix it like this. The fix is this. It just doesn't help that we have this interior line that's beautiful like that on the 5-minute. So maybe that's just giving us an expression, an understanding that the buyers are wanting to pick up in the zone. It's just, if you've been trading, you know what I'm talking about. If you've been in the market and you've been working these patterns, it's like, come on, man. Like maybe they're getting all this out of their system before 2022 starts, right? Let's see. You haven't traded since 6 p.m. Central yesterday. Good man, huh? You took a break, huh? Yeah, that's good, huh? That's good. Huh? That's you're in the right spot, huh? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about too. The patterns have been rough, huh? And I mean, I'm the kind of guy I can wake up in the morning, I can book 4 trades. I can. At lower time frames, like any given day of the week, I can wake up and I can book 4 trades. Without price action, that was the other thing in the market because Bitcoin was running up, right? It was doing really well. How many coins? I mean, we had a few that kind of flew out of the gate, but they had been down 70%, 68%. Like Rose did real well. It had been down like 70%. Okay, and the problem with something like that's been down that low, if you didn't catch the fib and you didn't say, okay, Rose is going to be the one that's going to go up, whatever it went up, 60% plus, right? If you didn't catch it on the fib, you're as a trader, you guys know, it's like, okay, so I'm supposed to hop in a fib hit that's on the way up. It's the most dangerous thing in the world, right? You don't have a position from down low. It has the momentum. It has the price action, and you're expected to trade it with the awful technicals that everyone who already has the lower position is just like, well, I'm holding it because I have a low position. It's going to cream you, right? It just does. Don't ever, if you can help it. It's a good reminder. Try not to. And sometimes you have to. Try not to hop into a Fibonacci trade once the train's already left the station, right? Because it will cream you. It doesn't have to be positive, let's say technicals. It doesn't, because someone else already got it at the 78% below. And that was difficult, right? That was difficult because not everybody caught the lower fibs.
that big pour down. If you caught it, you're golden. Like I said, some of you may have been doing something important like counting your money you had just made. If you had done that and you missed the entire pour down and you were just counting your money, that's cool, huh? I like that, huh? That's a great story. I know a few guys like that, at least one guy like that. He's just counting his money. He didn't have time to catch that lower. Now, it's a good lesson for him, too. I had to say that. I know this guy. He literally was just counting his money during that pour down, the big pour down that Bitcoin had. I'm talking about during this one. I know the guy. He was literally counting his money right in here. Wham! He was busy counting his money. And I think he was even distributing profits during this. So he didn't catch this. That's maybe the only good excuse. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't know. I just bring that up because that's a true story. True story. I think it's kind of cool. But I don't know. If you didn't catch that drop on the other coins, now yes, you had time to consolidate and get a position, but that was really it. That was nice, huh? That was that deep dig. The people who got the deep dig had the orders waiting. Same classic story, right? They didn't have to worry. While everyone else is chasing their coin and okay, it's going to go up another 10% potentially. Let's play the technicals. They demonstrated awful technicals, right? You guys saw that they're just miserable technicals. So that's what we get, quote unquote, we as the market, when we're late to the game, right? So we don't want to be late to the game. What does that mean? We scope out the 50% ahead of time. We scope back out this 38.2, right, in terms of the previous hit area. Bitcoin loves to play this prior zone pickup at the 45,459, right? Let's go back into a key area here. Prior pickup a little bit below the 38.2, absolutely down into this zone. Copy that. Anywhere from this, let's say 395, about 395, yeah, ballpark, to about 40,000. 40,000 is a key area, right? That was a big double down level from beforehand. We thought 45,000. That was my notion to people. Maintain a position at 45,000. Boom, before the rocket ship left, right? I just had told people that. Just maintain a position at 45,000, and that helped, right? Everyone's like, okay, and like, yeah, be prepared for 30,000, but go ahead and maintain a position for 45,000. Double down if you wanted to. So, meeting back up with that level would be potential, right? As we would pour down the 50%, let's go ahead and measure that, and I'll put that on the board here real quickly. 50% retracement is going to be right at, again, we already talked about that, but let's just put that on the map here so that you guys have it. 35, let's say 35 by 34,387. All right, so 34,387 and that 40,000 are key levels. If you have orders waiting, I think that would be a good idea. Let's see what we have. Good idea. Continuous gains that way. Yeah, you're talking about the exchange. Yeah, it'd be cool, huh? And just think like you'd always be in the price action with the buy, sell, generate a long or a short. When you sell, you're short. Like if you sold correctly, and think of the price action that would generate, huh? Because Bitcoin has a lot of price action. Be interesting, huh? Whether or not you'd allow people to, what you would trade, and if you would allow them to trade on spot, right? You would allow whatever it would be to be traded on spot, because the price action could be pretty dynamic. I'd like to see how the market would function. If when you buy it goes long, anytime you sell it naturally, okay, I'm out of the market. No, you're still in it. Can you imagine how engaged you would be directly? Like I like that. That's the kind of mentality I would like to. I'd love to see the traders that would want to come trade on that exchange. Who would show up? Yeah, huh? Yeah, this is the right crowd to say that stuff in. Yeah, you get that, huh? You're like, yeah, that'd be cool, huh? Some guys that can really trade. It'd be fun. Not well. I mean, every exchange right now is like, they're okay, but I mean, if you don't have a complaint about your exchange, you probably don't trade that much, honestly. It's kind of the state of crypto right now. So, and while the patterns, etc., are a little bit difficult, that's to be expected. So, looks like we're at 0.22%. I'm just trying to hold on to a line of support. We've been at this for a while. Can you believe? I don't believe that. Is this little area in here 15 hours? Is it really? Let's look at this, guys. Is that literally 15 hours? Unbelievable, isn't it? As you look at that little move right there was 15 hours. Unbelievable, huh? Because we had such a pour down throughout the day, didn't we? Yeah, throughout yesterday it was just such a pour down, huh? For that to have taken 15 hours, that's a big deal, huh? You get an appreciation for how committed you guys are as traders. You have to say that, huh? You guys will let you think, spend enough time. But yeah, I mean, just look at that. I mean, that little thing right here is 15 hours. Did you book a trade? Everyone's like, yeah, thanks. Did you book a trade? You know, that's part of it. The carry, the book, the trade, the not. I mean, I have a feeling you guys are probably a little bit more involved in some alts right now in combination with some potential opportunities to go long on Bitcoin or short, right? We're looking for that nice opportunity to go potentially buy long on Bitcoin, give us a nice clear pattern, etc. Give us some expectation of a 20 to 40 to 50% move will be nice, right? We've had a few. Let's go ahead and measure up. We've had this thus far this year, multiple moves of that degree. Let's see. In January, it was look at that. I mean, that's just beautiful. And the people who are hooked on Bitcoin right now is like, well, they're maximalists. No, they went 281% from late last year, right, from October to January, right? So 281%. Then they went another in January. They went another 100%, right? We were there, right? 100% in 26 days, right? So yeah, they're kind of into Bitcoin, right? People I know they're kind of into Bitcoin. It's had that. Then recently, from 30,000, what did we go up? 83%, nice, right? From 40,000, what did we go up? 70%, right? So on any kind of a leverage move, yeah, Bitcoin will do it. And when it pops up, everybody loves it. Huh? When it shows what's going on, you forget all about this stuff. You forget all about we spent 3 months. Who cares? It doesn't matter, right? No, when it lights up and it's up 8%, 10%, 10%, when it's rolling like that, nobody cares. Nobody cares. And everybody's like, well, you should have stuck with Bitcoin. All the alts will be screaming and this and that, and people are like us a lot of times trying to find the next moving altcoin, right? And then you're like, well, why don't we just stick with Bitcoin, right? Because it'll do that. If you don't stay focused on it, it'll bite you. And you'll look around and other people are trying to trade leverage on this or that altcoin or whatever else, and they'll get hammered at the top, right? It's just Bitcoin is kind of the go-to. I feel like that, and I like it being the go-to when you're able to look at people over-involved sometimes in altcoins. And it happens. You get culturally used to some of these coins, and it's like that's all that matters. And you go on this rampage where that's it. Me, I tell everybody, even if I'm trading something, if I'm bringing something to your attention, I tell you, if this thing blew up tomorrow and went to zero and took off, it would not emotionally affect me at all. It's not tied to who I am, and not Bitcoin, but like I brought something on Near. If it goes to zero, who cares? Next. Like we had Dogecoin VIP. Okay, if it disappeared tomorrow, okay, next. It's not that I'm insensitive or I don't like those coins, but I don't tie who I am to the presence of a coin or the culture. Like Cardano, it seems really cool. It seems like they're really all for doing good, right? If it blew up tomorrow or disappeared, I'd be like, okay, what else can we trade? Let's go. I mean, I'm not like that. I'm not like one of these guys that gets on the bandwagon and it's like, we're all, I don't like the bandwagon idea. I like price action. Bitcoin has price action. If it blows up tomorrow and it goes away, great. What else has price action? Let's dig in tomorrow. We'll be here. What else has I'm that way. I don't like to be emotionally connected with things. I believe in the utility of Bitcoin. There's a reason we spend so much time on it. I believe in the price action of Bitcoin. Period. Right? And it's worth focusing on even when things become boring, because it will, and you guys know, and it's done it multiple times this year, right? It will still rear its head up and show you who's boss. And look at these consistent bull flags. Boom, 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 boom. Guys, it just likes to do this. They print money. You guys know that. I was not a fan at all of designating this as a falling wedge. Very difficult to justify. Why? If you trade a lot, you know that, right? If you trade a lot, you know that. Because this was a falling wedge. Then what? Well, then this becomes a falling wedge. If you can kind of take this to, I just say a lot of times, when you have a preceding hitch that you're going to use in this level pivot to use as a level, a lot of times this will push, okay, to the lower level. Why? Because when you use some of these pivots from the preceding zone here, you might as well just use that, right? Try and scope it up into this area. try and scope it up into here. Give yourself the channel formation and see what it's really going to change in terms of your strategy. Always try and stay away from this zone if you can. Okay, if you can stay away from this zone in terms of formulating your falling wedge, grab it up in here. Just grab this whole line in here instead, because you already failed the top one, right? Yeah, if you're going from here to here, and sometimes it'll be, depending upon the nature of the market, maybe you make an exception. But no, when you fail the first one here, right? When you fail that, if you trade a lot at lower levels, if you've done like some training or something for yourself, you'll know what I'm talking about. Yep, they'll fail up top when you include this this top line kind of hitch. Yeah, they just will. You guys know what I'm talking about who trade a lot. Yep. So try that, right? That's what I was looking at. I was looking at a few things. We were looking at a lot of stuff. We were excited the market was going somewhere. Bitcoin kind of disagreed for now. That's okay. But I was not really on this bandwagon that we were going to really be blasting off to the upside, right? Not to the extent you guys know if you watch the live stream. I was talking about the amplitude, right? The expected amplitude was going to be lower for this hit, right? I didn't want to really say that necessarily. It was just, it was indicated. What do we use to get there, right? The degree, okay, the size here of this specific falling wedge, which had a contraindication to it, but this specific falling wedge, right? You guys know, if you saw the stream, falling wedge of this size. I wasn't all up through this, right? No. Just of this size versus what? Versus a falling wedge of, there you go, right? Of this size, right? Now, much bigger pattern, much bigger expectation. We like to trade big patterns. You guys know that. The bigger the pattern, the bigger the expectation, right? And let's just show that. Let me get rid of the attempt here for the ascending. But you see the magnitude of the move we got out of the larger pattern. So I had discussed with all of you, in terms of the expectation of this, it was lower, period. All right? Smaller pattern, smaller expectation. Huge pattern, huge expectation. Also, this pushed up into what? Now this one kind of built upon itself. All right? And we had the top line formation. It was interesting because we had this top line formation, okay, in line, let's see here. Let me dig into this. In line with these two pivots along the top, this specific, and it became very unique, this specific hit up and this pivot here brought us, this is cool, brought us this macro falling wedge notion, right? Yeah. That was awesome. We found that. I found this. It was cool. You guys know where we found it, right? On the weekly? Yeah. And I gave it to Jack Dorsey, to Elon, to SpaceX, and everybody else. Why? I was like, on the weekly, and this was just, I like to go through this so you guys can think out of the box a little bit. On the weekly, I identified this, and I brought it to all the big hitters, BlackRock, everybody else, CC on Twitter, etc. I'm like, you know, you guys, and it was failing. This was at 30,000. We got the tweet from it. I'm like, I see something big, right? And they're like, what do you see big? And I'm like, I mean, what do you see that's not big about that, right? Beautiful, huh? Look at that. That's nice, huh? Identify that at 30,000. I see something big, huh? It's cool, huh? Because you wouldn't normally tie that in that way. It's just, but you would if you trade a lot, right? If you trade a lot and you work with the lines, yeah. If you work with the angles of the price action, etc., yeah. Nice angle here. Boom. Brought up. On the weekly it was, right? Angle here, right? On the weekly. There for a reason, right? Absolutely. So that was a big catch for us just as a community at 30,000 to tell people, yep, we see something big. And we talked about it extensively, right? We did. But cool way to look at it. Now, if we go back into the, let's go to the daily, right? You can see what that does. Well, that's just the really tightened scope, the consolidated view of this larger falling wedge, right? Larger pattern, right? Larger result. Smaller pattern, smaller result. So we talked about that. terms of expectation. Still wanted something great to happen. We still, I guess maybe Christmas holidays, New Year's, all that different stuff. Yeah, could Bitcoin really impress? And you have to admit, it did get up into its EMAs. Further than it did here. I mean, we were close, guys. We were literally right here, right? And I understand this zone was tough here for a lot of reasons, but we were a little bit further away. We were just right. We almost went green. Just close, huh? Little tough for people to be like, all right, no problem. So we need support to kick up. Just an important review. Bigger pattern, bigger result. Smaller pattern, smaller result. Now, in terms of the overall, let's see this. If we pushed into something else that's more difficult here. Anything else that we're missing in terms of pattern formation? If you guys see something, you tell me. All right, other than this, which I don't want to call this necessarily, right? The daily is just same predicament. And I called this last time. I didn't want to call it last time, so I'm looking for that ascending triangle, okay? I don't want this, and we have one thing to help us a little bit. We have the notion of this cross trend line here. Okay, I'm going to bring this up. That cross trend line is hugely important. Resistance to support, right? We have that notion to potentially give buyers the impetus to push this up so we can establish an ascending triangle, right? Because it's a nice cross trend line resistance. Multiple hits, resistance into support. It's a nice hit, right? Not bad. So I think buyers are looking at that and saying, now we did go underneath it in terms of the 38.2% retracement. And that is, for the record, 38.2% of what? Of the entirety of the price, 38.2% was retraced. Golden Pocket is 61.8 to 65% was retraced, right? Okay, so yes, this is the ideal situation that we would view this previous resistance to support hit as crucial. That's the line that we're currently establishing along this, essentially the dissension here along this line of support. Resistance across the top. That's what this line is. It's that cross trend line. Just so you know, on the line, essentially. Line chart. Bam, bam. See that? Okay? Just perfectly dug in across that. It's acted as a beautiful pickup zone. A lot of traders there. Okay? Now, it's going to require us to pick up in this zone. Ascending support has to happen. Has to. Otherwise, what? Otherwise, we can talk about cross trend line, everything else, the world being fine and dandy, but we are going to be in the same boat that we were in here. And I didn't want to talk about it then. I don't want to talk about it now. But it is the truth that we will literally be in. God, it took forever. I didn't want to talk about it. It also took forever to talk about, right? And it just became like, okay, great. London's still talking about a bearish pattern. No one wanted to hear it. I know that. People wouldn't listen to the stream. I'm like, well, fine, dude. It's like it's going to pour down on you. That's why I didn't want to say that. But do you have orders waiting, right? Are you ready to pick up something down here? We were, right? It's not always fun it requires patience, right? It does. But an expanding diagonal, I'll say that. And guys, I researched this stuff. It's not like I found it on Google. We found the right answer on Google. No, we don't find the right answer on Google. Neither do you guys. I know that. Right? You're a good crew. So in terms of this, thank gosh. I found another guy who had, whatever. No, that's fine. In terms of this diagonal approach, just the same repeat function. Can pick up. I'm just going to say we have the cross diagonal. It's important to me right now that we have the cross diagonal. Why? Because it's the only real thing that separates this zone from this zone. Cross trend, right? Boom. See, that's a big deal for me. Potentially, right? Still the same descending line, an expanding and descending line of support, right? I'm game on that. I completely understand. But maybe the buyers are going to see this as a little different. Because it's a pretty heavy it's a pretty heavy line of resistance to support, right? It's been respected thus far, and it does differentiate us here from this level. I don't think it changes a lot were we to retest this zone. I think it's going to get dangerous if we want to come down to this level. It's going to become dangerous. We're going to hit this so many times. We've hit this top level 3 times, right? Small double top here. We've hit this, boom, 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 3 times along this resistance around 51,000, right? Really all the way up to 52, that's right, 52.1, 52.110, right? So, yeah, and it's acting like it wants to pour down just a touch. Let me see what you guys have to go on with the comments. Let me know what you guys have in the comments section. Would like to know what you got going on. Hit me up in a comment. Let me know what's good with it, what you're looking at. If any, I don't know if there's any good, I don't know, anything good going on with your trades, with what your strategy is. You got your targets at potentially like 40,000. Maybe you got some orders waiting at 34,000. Maybe you guys are making tons of cash on, I don't know, maybe everybody's hot on Velas. I have to bring this up. Why? Because I redid our show after Velas. Why? Because it was cool. I like the chick. I want to call her a chick. She looks like a cool chick. Check her out. Like, what's up? I'm looking for a cool project. What's up? I like that. Very nice. Velas. Let me make sure you guys can see that. Just cool. We have the fastest EVM chain to compete with Ethereum 2.0. Excuse me? Yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, that sounds okay, right? I brought this to the VIP, and they're like, oh, great. London has a new project. Oh, great. He has a new idea. And then, bam, what happens? Velas powers into Formula One with multi-year Scuderia Ferrari partnership. That is what I am talking about. Bam. VIP are like, yes, he brought it to us. That's just cool. I like that. I like to bring you guys good projects. Ferrari agreed with me. What's going on? Very cool, huh? Love it. Very, very cool. So, yes, we have Ferrari all over the VIP, right? It's going to be, it may be like that. I want you guys to get some Ferraris this year. Yeah, Josh, you got to show up in one, huh? I'm going to say that. We got some video coming from Josh in a Ferrari, we hope. Yeah? Should be fun, huh? Should be fun. Okay, so BTC, back to BTC, but that's Velas. You see, once you hit your Fibonacci level, this is a perfect example. Once you hit a Fibonacci level, now this has happened all over the map in terms of the overall, just pay attention. With Bitcoin, etc., when you don't hit your target down below, right, and you're starting to charge into something which is already taking off, it's going to give you awful technicals. People who hit their target below don't have to worry about that. They're just carrying, right? They have a good entry. They're carrying, right? But you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fake outs that you'll try and trade right to the upside and a breakout play, anything else. So just an interesting coin. Velas. VLX. I liked it in the beginning. It hit that 86% retracement, etc., and had some price action. It may go back down to 86, or it may do really well. I'm just looking forward to seeing how it looks on a Ferrari Scuderia car after I brought it just early to the VIP. It's cool. That's a success story for us, I'll say that. We have a few like that. Not with Ferrari, but yeah, with early. Finding things early. I like to do that for the VIP. I really commit to trying to do that. Let's see what we got. Looks like this level could be in jeopardy. Let's see what's going on. We want to hold this line of previous support here, right? Pouring down relatively heavily. Look at this preceding zone. Bam, pickup, right? Bitcoin's just infamous. That's 2% pickup, right? Bitcoin is infamous for literally just, when you talk about volatility, but it's pretty consistent. You guys know that too. In terms of it likes to pick up at its preceding zones. I'm surprised a lot of people already didn't pick up here. It would like to pick up in this generalized zone, right? Just preceding zone, this area in here, right? It just would. If you trade it a lot, you know that. We had this contraindication. I keep saying that, but you guys who trade a lot, you understand. We had the descending triangle. Then we had what else did we have? Then we had a decreasing, essentially a descending channel, right? Which is Any descending channel is bullish by design. All right, any descending channel is by design bullish. It's going to want to break to the upside at some point. Now they can get extended and you can really challenge that maximum, but any descending channel essentially is bullish by design. You're going to want to break out of it at some point, right? You can only sell so much of something unless it's corruptly, let's just say gone, right? If it's just completely, the market's gone on it, right? You'll probably become a little bit more vertical than just a descending channel, to tell you the truth. So this generalized zone we would expect to pick up in somewhere here. We've had a lot of pickups in this area. Go to, I don't want to go to volume on screen. I'm not a big fan of that. There are a few indicators I like, and some have too many fractals on them, so I'm just going to stay away from that. You can see the heavy pickup in this area, this zone around 45 up to 47,500. So 45.5 to 47.5 has been a decent pickup area, right? Let's see if I got some more music here. And let me check out the chat, see what you guys are up to. You guys let me know what you guys got going on. You had everything, no idea when you'll make millions. Good. You got the right idea, right focus, right? Yeah. You'd be surprised. Hang around, find some good projects. Get in early. You don't know how many people have made. I just have to say that it's not like anyone looking for a guarantee. Wrong industry, right? In terms of like at all with crypto, or wrong investment space. You guys know that. But it's literally, people made millions of dollars this last year. So many people with such a small amount of money. Truth, huh? So there will likely be some viral plays out there. It just will be, And let's see what we got in terms of music. We don't want to be, let's see what I got here. And we are not we're not the group or the crowd that's going to just push and hype a bunch of junk, right? We're not going to do that. But if something has the potential to go viral, and we may run across something that's like, well, this is interesting. And the trick is just getting in early, right? Yeah, like pre. And you don't want to spend too much cash on a startup. I mean, it's just not easy, guys. It's not exactly lottery odds, but, we really got to do something special, right? To get so let's say, like a 1,000x is nice, right? That'd be nice, 1,000x. Like, they have, 10,000x, something impressive, right? It just happens. It does happen. Hang around, stay plugged into crypto. You're not going to get it if you're not plugged in. I know that because the guys that I know that got it this last year, they were plugged in. Some to VIP, absolutely. What's going on, Tommy? What's up in the Netherlands? Hope everything is well. Our overseas compadre. Really great to see Jeffrey in the house. Nice to see you, Jeffrey. I think we also have, where is Freddie? Freddie, you still hanging around? Maybe so, huh? Let's see what we got. So, yeah, Tommy's out from the Netherlands. Jeffrey, you got to tell us what you've been doing, brother. Hit me up on Twitter. Let me know what's going on, what's been cooking. Now, this is kind of a crucial moment for Bitcoin. While we're entering into a zone of support, we're also, if we go to the candle wicks, you'll see generally, and I've just drawn a general line here. It's just maybe not the best placement here. Right through, let's see, across the top, actually, for some reason I chose to draw this across the top. We're expressing this. We would have another potential line through here, okay? Okay, so this line, as we would craft out this previous channel formation to the downside, right? It starts looking pretty severe, doesn't it? It does. I mean, it's almost like if ever I do a pitch fan, right? We don't necessarily want to define the price action like this, right? But it gets like that sometimes, right? It does. We don't like those, right? Just real vertical expanding. If you trade, you know that anything that just starts to go like this is dangerous. It is, right? But at least it gives us an expectation of the price action. Like this zone previously. And see, when you start to define things like this, everybody just wants to start backing up. Whoa, 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 right? If I have this on the screen the whole time, I was like, hold on, dude, hold on. Wait, London, what? Because yeah, if you trade a lot, you're like, no thanks, huh? And if you were to throw this on top of this, let's just go through this, all right? If we were to throw that next to this, in terms of an ascending, right? Let me do this. Let me make sure this is tightened up here and here and here. It's like, okay, we have an ascending, right, wedge, and then we have a pour out potentially like this. Now, the one that'll get you is this, because that when you trade a lot, it's like, well, let's what else can we do today, right? What else can we trade? Unless you're going short on it. Shorts are difficult. They sound great in theory. What do you run into every time you get into a short? You run into a Fibonacci, right? It's not easy, right? You really have to catch like the big pour down, just so you know. The shorts that really play like would be this level here, bam. That really plays. You have to be awake, alert, and there is your screen, and bam, and close that sucker, boom, right? This kind of striated stuff here, what's this to this? 23% from that pour down to the top. 23% recovered, which does what to your 5S? It eliminates you. Any 5S position. If you had a 5S from the top here and you still have it, let me know, because you should have been wiped, depending upon which exchange you're on. 5 times your returns to the top, to the upside and the downside. So yeah, in theory, they're great. So part of the reason they pour down like this, right, is to give you enough room to the upside as well. And it doesn't go without saying that, yeah, okay, so we did push up into like 24.2, what is that, 24, almost 24.5%, about 24%, which does what? Which wipes out the shorts. Any shorts that got in low, right? But any shorts that got in up here, right? It moved against you 20+%. You're gone. Boom. That just wiped out all the shorts. And really, let's look at this, because most people think it dug down, that's going to help the shorts. Really, it knocked your shorts out here. Within that move, boom, it pushes down, it increases the value of your short, and then it lets you sell in here for some money if you got in before. But yeah, next move up, boom. It wipes you out. 20% against you on a 5S position, right? On a short position, if it's 5 times, just so some people don't know, okay? 5 times your returns, right? So, and if it moves up, it's 5 times against you, however much it moves up. So 5 times 20, if it makes 20% against you, that's the problem with generally Fibonacci's, okay? They fight against your short position. You're going to have all these different Fibonacci levels where it's going to want to hit 20%, right? Let me go ahead and do this to the, let's go to default. Let's see if I have a Binance color. That's fine. But yeah, each and every Fibonacci level where you stand to hit a 20% move against you, it's going to wipe you out. It's going to wipe your shorts out. So they sound really attractive, right? This was a nice short move. Boom, right? That was impressive. But watch that pickup. When it does decide to pick up and move against you, you're going to wipe your shorts out. So that's why they're difficult. People say, well, just short it. Well, if you short a lot, you have to just know you have to catch it when it's going to plow through, hopefully not react, more than 20% on any specific Fibonacci. It's gets into some really highly calculative stuff. If you have all day long to really spend calculating that kind of stuff, you can do it sometimes. But it's just, even at that, they're going to want to wipe you out, That's the bottom line. So be careful with those if you're really heavy, they're just like, it's just like a long, or just, I'd say like a long, or like a spot position. Be able to have the excess cash to really hammer down into it, right? To really compound into it. To where, okay, it wiped that out, who cares? Bam, just hit it again, right? And not just with, okay, just, here's $500. Okay, bam, here's 500. If you want to do it that way, but if you're trying to make real money, a lot of people will really hammer into it. I know people who hammer into it with, 200-300 grand, and bam, that disappears. Okay, here's 500. Bam, here's okay. It just, on probably, I don't know, maybe 4, 5, 6 coins at a time, just hammering into it. They'll lose a ton. They have income of that type of person has income, just literal cash income monthly, to where it's just not a big deal, right? So that's not everybody's predicament, right? So be careful. You don't have just excess cash coming in the door every month. Just be careful the positions you're taking. Shorts are not easy. Always going to run into the Fibonacci's. And people don't think that way all the time, but if you short enough, you do. See what we're doing in terms of price action. Come on. We wanted to pick up an ascending triangle in the lower levels. Hope you guys are doing well tonight. Absolutely. Happy holidays. Yeah? What's up? What do we got here? What tool is that? What tool are you talking about? Let's see. Great stream. Going to get some rest. Excited to see what I wake up to. Thanks, Crypto Kingdom. You got it. D1 Love. Absolutely. You join us VIP. Yeah, would appreciate it. We'd like to have you as VIP. All right? If you'd like to trade, you need to be a VIP. That's just it. There's only one group like us. That's it. We're the top guys. Not for everybody. Some people get kicked out. If you got kicked out, I told you go. I mean, it's a new year, huh? Let's start over, huh? I don't know why you got kicked out. Some of you wanted to listen to other guys do it. I'm just like, don't bring that trash in our group. Don't do that. We're real particular, man. I kicked some guys out that people are like, you kicked him out? I know, I did. I'm not sorry. I'm not. I want us to be the best group. I just do. That's it. At all costs, I want us to be the best group. And not like it to a detrimental degree. And it is the new year, I'll say that. So, that's new beginnings, guys. New beginnings, even for old issues, right? It's okay. It's all about a good, positive 2022 with no regrets and no grudges. We'll say that too. So I look forward to hearing from you guys. If anything did happen, just shoot me a DM. I look forward to, from a new account, make a new account on Twitter or something like that. So this has been 15 or 16 hours. I have not been streaming the whole time. I started streaming late because I promised the VIP I'd do that I was going to stream. I worked on some artwork. We now have Ferrari. And we'll refine this a little bit. We'll make it nice. Let me pull that CCI index up. There we go. Love technical analysis. I just love it. That's why I trade. It's why we have a group. I want us to be the number one, and we are the number one TA group on the internet. Anywhere you can find. We love JP Morgan. We love BlackRock. We love all you guys that used to work there. I hate that I had to kick some people out of the VIP that used to work there. I just did. Because they have a great name and great reputation. I used to like to talk well of them. If they're in the group or in the audience tonight, I want to let you know. I hope you had a great holiday. That's the bottom line. Absolutely. I hope you had a great holiday and hope things are going well for you, irrespective of anything. I can just always tell if somebody's using some other type of technical to get a CME close index or something like, excuse me? Hold on. A CME? Do you even know what the CME is? Not you. Everyone else who uses it. Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Are you going to rely on their information they publish for you? Okay, great. If it's publicly available, understand you're not going to gain an advantage from it. For the most part, if it's publicly available, you are not going to gain an advantage by it. If things were that simple, it just wouldn't be competitive, really. It really wouldn't be, right? So the CME close, this and that, the gap, we're not into it, guys. If it's publicly available, you're not going to get an edge on it. It's just, most things you have to pay for. I just tell you, in terms of real, any type of real advantage in the market, you'll see that notion repeated, or that you'll hear that frequently. If it's publicly available and free for the public, it's not going to represent an advantage to you individually. Okay, it's just typically that's a maxim. That's you can read that in a variety of places. I'll just tell you that. Okay, it's not just an opinion. You can read that. Let's look at Rose. How's Rose doing? Glad we looked. Interesting. Yeah, we have had, it's up 12.43%. Oasis Protocol, right? It's a pretty interesting project. If you've looked at it, tons of investors, if you guys haven't looked at that project, it's got all kinds of investors. I'm not real crazy about it. It's not my type of project, but it's just done so well. Caught in a situation here where, yeah, it took off on the fib, took off on a line of support. It was one of many that could have. In terms of the overall retracement, let's just look at it so we can review the market. 50% retracement, 50%. So it's just a tough market right now. You have stuff like Oasis that's taken off, guys. It's taken off, let's see this, 64%, right? You don't want to jump in midway on at all on a fib hit. You just don't want to. Right? We have this midline. Let's look at the midline real quickly. I like the technique here as we're dealing with cross trend lines, etc. Excuse me on here. And just pay attention to the technicals. You don't have to like the coin at all. Look at the technicals. I see essentially roughly a cross trend line established by a preceding essentially level of support. Okay? Support to a generalized level of resistance on a line chart. Let's look here. There we go. Particularly on the daily. There we go. Very close, right? Now on the daily, it becomes real kind of obvious where we're at, and it's even going to push up a little bit above. But to cut through a midline of an ascending channel, right? And it's differentiated. I say it's filled out well by the actual candle wicks. Okay, I'm always looking for a midline, kind of a standard deviation, some midline function that can operate. That is kind of an intermediary, or I'd say an interior trend line. Right, so we found that if I carry this up to the current price action now, let's go to the 5-minute and see what's going on at that trend line. This is what's been really tricky for a lot of people in the market. A lot of these trades right here, again, the people who got in at lower levels, right, they're fine. They don't have to trade, right? They have a real solid early position. In terms of predicting what has been, a mover or not, it's just been tough in the market. Right now we're right on a level of resistance. We've been here before. Last few days, these have played miserably well. I just tell you, that's that line of resistance, that cross trend line of resistance. Just so we update in terms of the market, where it's at, what has it been, how has it been behaving. That's a midline function for me. I'm going to call that a line of resistance. I just am. It's up against something as we would look at it right now, especially on like the 5-minute. It's interacting with something, right? Absolutely, something's going on here. So, yeah. Let's see here on the hourly. Yeah, absolutely. You see, resistance, a little bit of activity over it. Generalized support to resistance. You see that? Yeah, to current situation right now. So yeah, something's definitely going on there. You see multiple hits, resistance, a little bit of a maybe technical throwover, etc. To generalized support on the candle wicks, right? To resistance. So that's a real line there. And those are the ones that have been really tricky recently in the market. Any kind of a breakout, it's just like, it's just been tough. It's been tough to, the market hasn't been giving those trades to many coins, I'll just say that. So it's been a tight market. Matic is in another situation on a similar journey in terms of being along a line of resistance breakout, right? We would say this would be a throw over super trend, right? This in this area is a throw over, surpassing this line of resistance, and bam, throw over. Told you guys technically they don't like to hold, right? Told you guys that in the last stream. I don't want to be right about that. It's Matic. It can do whatever it wants to do. It can formulate a great bullish pattern and take off. Matic has done more than that previously this year in terms of the excessive pricing that it's generated. But do understand technically, right? Technically, this overthrow, technically it's not supposed to last. Now it can. Look at Luna, right? Luna beat its trend with a token burn, right? That was very interesting, right? To see that level of a reaction on Luna's price with a token burn. So throw over, bam, right here, over the top line resistance. Not expected technically to last. Hey, it's crypto. Anything could be against the technicals. Don't cash your 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 position in based on a throwover until you know what it is. Do your own assessment, your own technical analysis on it, and you decide, right? If you started with $3 and you have $1.4 million, I don't know, maybe hit the button and go cash it out and enjoy yourself, right? It started at, I don't know, 0.003 or 2. I don't know what it started at, but if you started it at something ridiculous, like, maybe take some profits. I don't know. At some point, right? You're pushing the intermediary high, etc. But hey, you do your own deal. You do your own TA and enjoy those profits. All right. It's at a line of resistance. I like to buy at support if we can get there. Buy at support, not on Matic on everything, right? Matic, love it. As we buy on support, sell at resistance. To do what? Trade patterns, right? Hit your fibs and trade patterns, right? We need to hit some more lines of support, and they need to be clear on the different time frames. It's just been a wild market. Ethereum, almost in some sort of a bullish flag, right? We have to talk about Ethereum just because I'd like to cover the technicals on different coins that give us more of an indication of what could happen on Bitcoin. It just does. We need to know what's going on with the rest of the market, right? Not a bad-looking flag. A little bit of a deviation here. Not too far away from BNB, right? Binance Coin is not out of sorts right now for an interpretation. If it can get to the upside for a flag, not too bad looking. This could get Ethereum up to. Let's just look at it because 57.49. That'd be nice. Just in terms of the overall market, the alts, etc., going right along with Bitcoin. I want Bitcoin to lead the pack. I just do. So that'd be a 50% move for Ethereum were it to complete this to the upside. 50% is not bad, huh? Guy, Ethereum makes it rough to trade on a leveraged coin, right? Look at Sol. Interesting, huh? Just been quiet. Just kind of, it has been. Overall retracement, 42%, right? Not too heavy. 42%, kind of odd, huh? Not the 38.2. It's like everything dug down a little bit better or a little bit deeper, right? It like if you had the 38.2, it wanted you to either get a bargain on that and play underneath the Fibonacci level here, right? Or if you're just hand trading it at 38.2 and you were there and bam, you're going to schedule into it, it wanted you to say, okay, I'm going to hold this level. It pushed a little bit beyond that 38.2. But one thing you don't see really on Sol, you see, kind of a pour down, but nothing like really aggressive, right? The big drop that BTC had, etc., right? Not hugely aggressive. Let's see. So where are we at? I'm going to bring in the RSI for Sol just because I want to look at it. I want to see where it is, the RSI and the CCI. I want to see RSI. Let me do this. And let me add that into TradingView. Changed its RSI. Remember how I'm going to do this, guys. I'm going to combine my RSI and my CCI. I'm going to take my RSI indicator and I'm going to move it in this channel formation here. Bam, I'm going to drop it in with my CCI, okay? That's how I do that. I hit the little stack button. There's a little stack button, little boxes towards the bottom right on your screen on TradingView. Why? Because I want to see what and when the CCI is confluent with, just so you know, in terms of strategy on Bitcoin, etc. We're on the 4 hourly. I do want, now if I lift this, the CCI is on top. That's going to be negative 100. Key indication, negative 100. I want that RSI to be below, and you may not be able to see that RSI. Yeah, you can. I want that RSI also under 30. 30 or below, negative 100 or below. I like that combo on CCI and RSI. The larger the time frame, the more I like it, period. Okay? The more bullish that we are in the coin in terms of the run up, let's say the more of a bull run that we're in, the lower the time frame, I can take an RSI at 30. Okay? It's oversold on the 30-minute. Okay, great. Well, we're running up, right? That's great. Hammer into it, right? Versus, well, it's at the 30 RSI, or 30 SI on the 30-minute. During here, oh, really? Okay, well, give me the hour, maybe give me the 4 hour. Doesn't this look like, guys, doesn't this look like sand? Right here. Just for guys, picture perfect. Look at this. I want to show you guys what's going on between these two charts real quickly. Let's look at boom, boom. We'll get back to Bitcoin in 2 seconds. Let me do this. Don't do that anymore. Ah, dang it. All right. Let me do this. Hold on 1 second. I want to show you guys sand up next to. Let me compare it to, maybe getting tired here. Let's look at sand on the right-hand pane. I think you're going to like this. Sand. You see on the left-hand side, you see soul, right? On the right-hand side, you see sand. Sandbox? Yeah. Interesting, huh? Almost exactly the same. Nice hitch up. This formation in here is real familiar, right? So I just look for patterns that can repeat. I look for what can happen next that I'm maybe not expecting, a comparative technical analytic to at least give myself a thought process. Potentially I could gain some value on sand, and it may do that. You wouldn't necessarily think that looking at sand, huh? Yeah, we want it to go up. We want it to, right? So always look at the comparative analytics. Be aware of what else is in the market, right? Always. Because your mind doesn't always just construct, if we look at these two patterns, right? If we were to look at that right there on the left, it's interesting, huh? Yeah. If we were to look at that on the left and that on the right, you wouldn't naturally just think that the price is going to do this, right? And if you knew it was going to do that, it'd be some valuable information. So we look for patterns to repeat, okay? We do respect the fact that there's individual components to everything, individual demand functions, etc., individual buyers, individual sellers. But I like that. I'm always looking for some sort of comparative, at least to expand my mind that yes, this could exactly do, because it's just, you guys, I'm covering it because I want you guys to be better traders at Bitcoin, at every coin, all right? Just period. When I see that right there, I want you guys to know that this on the right can literally do this, right? And that may not be intuitive. So when I see a repeat pattern, I want to bring it to your attention. Not that it's going to repeat, but it looks like the same price function thus far. And that would be up through here. So take a look at that on your own time. It's just really similar, right? Okay. And I've thought that a few times about sand. I'd like to catch it on support, right? Would like to. Differentiation on all these. It has been unfun, I'll just tell you. But to the extent you wouldn't think, well, necessarily it's going to push, but you'd be prepared for it, right? Absolutely. So you guys compare those if you need to, all right? It did give you another bottom line pickup. Boom. Right, that we would have here. Boom. Potentially on sand. We don't want that to go. We want sand to just go ahead and take off, but it does technically probably need something like this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is up and out, right? Let's see. Yeah. So, not sure you guys are trading these. But even at that, you just don't even pick that up on sand necessarily, right? You're not picking up on that necessarily. That we just came down 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is up and out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is up and out, right? So is this implied here? It could get up and out early, right? But be prepared for this. If anyone's looking at these two charts right here, or pure technical analysis, and it can always get up and out early. But absolutely, people who are looking at, and know this is classical technical analysis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, we would want to get down here in 5 up and down. Just pay attention to that. Can it impress early? Absolutely. Very bullish looking, right? It is. On sand, it's looking bullish, right? Big project, huh? Absolutely. Let's see what we got on BTC. Still holding, right? Still holding its pattern, trying to do something. This 15-hour stint for an ascending triangle attempt. I'm not mad at it right now. That's okay, huh? Not too bad. You need to pick it up, Bitcoin, huh? Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Buyers kind of showing up, huh? Isn't it just amazing? Bitcoin has a way of taking a really long time, huh? Tight ranges are followed. I'll say this. Tight ranges in terms of volatility, okay? Okay, like constricted volatility, right? Just grinding, kind of etched in volatility. At some point is followed by what? Boom, by a big move, all right? Constricted or tight volatility at some point within its range likes to be followed normally, boom, by a big move, okay? And a big move likes to be followed by a constricted range of volatility, okay? Just pure technicals. Big move, boom, tight range. Tight range, boom, it's followed by a big move. Big move in, a little bit of volatility, boom, right? That's typically the way you'll see things. A tighter, more constricted range, etched in, boom, followed by a short burst, bam, right? Yeah. Tight range, constricted, then price action, bam. This pattern formation, essentially pattern formation. Let's see what we got in the comments. What's going on? Absolutely, go to work and have strum. Speak Netherlands to Dutch, whatever. Have a good time, Tommy. Glad that you stopped in. And yeah, it is getting late, guys. I want to start trying to stream more frequently. I hope you guys are doing well. And this is London. And guys, whatever questions you have, etc., I just want you guys to follow us over on Twitter. We want the best traders around us. That's it. And we want to, we just want to continue to reinforce that in each other, right? That's just what we want. And we're going to continue to do that. We've been doing it all 2021. We have a great group. I'm excited about 2022. And I just know that there's going to be some more millionaires made. I just, if I have a gut feeling or otherwise, we had that happen in our group with multiple people. I just tell you, multiple people that I'm in close contact with or have been. And it's just, I know it's going to happen again. And don't think it can't happen to you. Zero promises, of course, but just don't think that can't happen to me. No promises, and it's not selling a pie in the sky. It's just when I know people, literally, that made it. Maybe it's an off chance, maybe it's nothing, but the guys are tenacious. The ones that applied technicals, literally, they're the guys that literally focus. Literally, they got a book, they focused, they really dug into the market. So I'm looking forward to that dynamic repeating itself. And hopefully with you. Shout out to Josh, our VIP champ, any other VIPs, etc. We're just excited. It's been a big fortunate circumstance to know you all this year. And I mean that to each and every one of you. And this is London. We'll see how Bitcoin goes. And we will just remind you never to be overexposed at any higher price. Always with heavy cash reserves and ready to double or triple down. Compound, guys. Compound down if it were to go down. And let's look forward to the pricing dynamics as they were to occur. Overall macro, just a review here. We've hit 1, 2, 3 times. Perfect top line. We would love to see this work out. Something like this, reverse this in terms of giving us some sort of a reversal pattern would be great. To the upside, we'll measure it one more time. What could we get? Let's see where we're at. I like to stream like this. I don't come in like 2 minutes and tell you guys what's most likely to happen. Just let the pricing unwind a little bit. I love this. It's so much better. Be a 20% plus move to the upside. From where it is right now, assuming we can get on up there, guys, that'd be a 30% move. That'd get us back up to 62,000. Would love to see that. We have a few hurdles in the way. Doesn't that look beautiful? If we could hold that, that looks nice. That looks like that belongs there, huh? And people that are down here like, yeah, well, you know, we're short here. We think it's going back down here. So let's let Bitcoin, I said about another few days here to develop a pattern. We want to be highly certain, as close to certain as we can be on our next move. And like we were on this specific move in here with our preceding video, absolutely, we did not meet the threshold. We got close, I'll tell you that. We got close. Bibbs did want to play on the way down, but definitely stay plugged in to VIP. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and smash the like button. It's been a pleasure to talk to you guys tonight or this morning, wherever you are. Please take care of yourself during this holiday weekend or this week. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much.